The distractions this week. How did practice go this week?
I've been pleased. I mean, we had no bell conferences, and so...
Give us at the Whiskey River tailgate party. And Moose, tell us, just what does Whiskey River and their tailgate parties mean to Gustavus?
We probably don't have anybody who supports it better. Whenever we need them, they're there. They're good friends of the program in addition to being good supporters. And I'm really excited about what can happen with this. We need to get the word out so people know they'll be here for each home game. And I just think this whole thing's going to cook, and we're dealing with good people who care about our program.
Welcome back, and Hollingsworth Field is slowly but surely becoming a packed house for this homecoming matchup between the Comers and the Gusties. Again, homecoming always a lot of fun to do. You get to see a lot of former alumni back to watch the Gustavus football program. Students get into it, parents get into it. I was talking at the Whiskey River tailgate party before the game with the Lynches, talking with Mark's mother and father. And it's just going to be an outstanding game. And this is really what college football is all about, and homecoming, I think, exemplifies that. And I got to hand it to the Gustavus fans. What a great turnout for this football game.
Well, yeah, against Carleton, we had about 2,800 fans that were at the control that, keep the ball away from Concordia, and take advantage of the wind in the second quarter.
Let's get a quick check on our current weather conditions at game time. Clay Kepner, what's it look like for our game time weather conditions?
Joe, currently under mostly sunny skies here in St. Peter. We are at 53 degrees, and our wind is gusting at 15 to 25 miles per hour.
Well, Old Glory definitely tout in the far end zone as the wind will be blowing from left to right from our vantage point. And that may play a factor with the passing game.
Well, let's hope that they are in favor of gusty winds this afternoon. PU, that was 2/3 of a punt. But if they can prove effective this afternoon, let's see if the passing game for Gustavus looks a little bit more stable than the passing game from Concordia, just on proven track record. But that could be the nature of the beast we faced. There's no common opponents in the MIAC yet. Concordia has faced 3 teams that Gustavus has not seen yet, so we don't really know what to expect this afternoon.
Conference standings look like this. Gustavus on top of the conference at 3-0. Bethel, Concordia, Hamlin, and St. John's all 2-1. Augsburg, Carleton, St. Thomas, and St. Olaf 1-2. And McAllister is 0-3 on the season. Elsewhere around the MIAC today, McAllister is at Augsburg, St. Olaf at Carleton. That should be an excellent game in Northfield. St. John's at St. Thomas. I believe that game's on in Midwest Sports Channel, if I'm not mistaken. And, of course, St. Peter subscribers, we now have MSC on our cable system. And Bethel today is at Hamlin. Going back to receive the kickoff for Gustavus, going back deep, is Brian Brecky and Mike Johnson, a freshman from Brainerd. And to kick it off for the Covers, Brian Barnick, number 35, out of Fargo, North Dakota. And Homecoming 94 is underway. A short kick, it'll be Johnson, who falls down and gets it at the 17-yard line, down by the knee. And he falls on it, and as a result, Gustavus will have the ball 1st and 10 at their own 17-yard line. Let's take a look at the, not the Vikings offense, but the Gustavus offensive lineup. Up front on the line will be Lane Magnuson, Mike Miller, John Gunderson at center, Bill Ossie and Mark Lynch on the line. In the quarterback slot, of course, is Kurt Swenson. Wide out is Benji Keeney. Tight end is Adam Holmes. And it'll be Brian Brecky in the backfield. Right now, it's 1st down and 10. A 3-receiver set, 2 right, 1 left. And it's Brecky, and Brecky blows through a hole out to the 24-yard line. That'll be a gain of 5 on the play. It'll bring up 2nd down and 5. Cedric Hawkins now checks in for Gustavus. Benji Keeney checks out. The other wide receiver is Neil Bentley, number 24. Brecky, of course, out of New Richland. Cedric Hawkins from New Orleans, Louisiana, had a big game last week, a pair of touchdowns and rushed for over 100 yards in the win over St. Olaf. Belmore and Bentley split to the right side. Twins right on 2nd down and 5. Swenson, play action pass, rolls wide open in the flat is Bentley. Bentley turns it upfield, 30, 35, and down at the 35-yard line. 1st down, Gustavus.
Well, that's awful important 1st down to pick up. That first one of the game gives a little bit of confidence. Kurt Swenson able to roll out of it. Cedric Hawkins picking up a nice block, keeping off the defenders, and Swenson finding Bentley for the 1st down.
So the Gusties get their first down of the afternoon. And that indeed is key for the Gustavus offense. A 3-receiver set this time, 2 right, 1 left, and the single setback is Brian Brecky. Gusties from their own 35. A 5-step drop by Swenson. Steps up in the pocket, avoids the rush, and threw it away out of bounds, looking for the tight end, Adam Holmes.
Very good play by Swenson to just throw that one over the head out of bounds. Nothing developed. He might have been able to tuck it away and run it. That's the one thing that I haven't found Kurt Swenson having a lot of expertise at or experience, is being able to tuck that ball away and pick up the 4 or 5 yards on his own. And that's something that by looking at films and working with Coach Schoenebeck, hopefully he'll pick that up before the end of the season.
2nd down and 10. We're just underway. Opening drive. Brecky lines up as the H-back. Single set is Hawkins. Twins to the right side on 2nd and 10. Now in motion is Brecky. Hawkins gets the call. And Cedric Hawkins gets to the line of scrimmage, and nothing there up the middle. Stop made by Stuart Lang, the junior from Slayton, Minnesota, for the Cobbers. It'll bring up a 3rd down and long situation now for Gustavus.
Everyone that I've talked to says, why does Gustavus run the draw that much? Well, it's not really a draw. They're running what's called a zone blocking scheme. They're letting the defenders make their moves and then taking them the way that they want, letting the back take the ball late and then read off of those blocks. In that play, Concordia defense held their ground, and they were able to shut down the hole, keeping Cedric Hawkins to no gain.
Bentley and Keeney to the right side on 3rd and long. Throw incomplete, intended for Belmore. He had it at the 40. But blanket coverage that time by Mike Solberg, a senior from Fargo, North Dakota. He would have been shy of the 1st down. And so Gustavus will bring out their punter, Jeff Hansen. And the Gusties will be forced to punt it away.
And here's a point of emphasis from TK's from his program, where Concordia's blocked 2 punts this year, and Gustavus has had 3 blocks. So a lot of nervous coaches on the sidelines right now, hoping that Jeff Hansen can get this one off into the wind.
Stuart Lang stands at the Cobber 35. Here's the kick, and Hansen gets it off the right side of his foot. It wobbles, takes a bounce at the 41, and then drops to the 39. We'll be back. We're scoreless. This is Gusty Football on KRBI.
The Bookmark, your primary outlet for Gustavus clothing and supplies, is proud to be a sponsor of this Golden Gusty football broadcast. Store manager Karen Zins and her staff salute the 600 athletes that make up the 21 teams in the Gustavus athletic program. They would like to extend an invitation to students, parents, alumni, and the St. Peter community to stop by the newly remodeled surroundings in the Johnson Student Union and browse the wide variety of merchandise the Bookmark has to offer.
1st down and 10 for the Cobbers at their own 40-yard line. And the handoff goes to the tailback, Dean Haugo, rather the halfback. And Haugo works the left side. Did not get much. No gain on the play as the defensive right side right there to make the stop for Gustavus. And Jason Peters leading the charge.
Concordia electing to run the ball into the sidelines with Haugo on that play. And the Gustavus defense swarmed all over him. No gain for Concordia.
We'll set the offensive defense after this play. 2nd down and 10. Cobbers at their own 40. Out of the I formation. In motion now is the wideout, number 8, Torrey Langamo. Otterman tucks it away, decides to keep it, and he's pushed down at the 42-yard line by D.J. Wilker, the linebacker. Here's the way things look for the Concordia offense. Quarterback is Kyle Otterman. Halfback is Dean Haugo. Michael Flynn not starting today. Mike Halverson will start at the fullback. And it's Torrey Langamo, the wide receiver. Sean McGee, the split end. Mark Wishar, the tight end. Up front in the line is Jay Botman, Chad Schwartz, and Jed Seeger, along with Tim Lowry. And starting today also is Noah Crone, number 72. Sean McGee, the lone wideout to the right side. Langamo in motion from right to left. Otterman, a 5-step drop, has plenty of time, stands in the pocket, looks to throw, and incomplete, intended for Langamo. He was open at the 35-yard line, and that'll bring up 4th down, and the Cobbers will be forced to punt it away.
Otterman had all day to throw that pass. Gustavus had 4 on-rushers trying to get back there, but the Concordia offensive line just looks huge, almost as big as the Gustavus offensive line. I should run some stats and compare their sizes, but there's no pressure on Otterman. He just missed his mark, which would have been a 1st down if he had just put that ball in there.
So the Cobbers will be forced to punt it away. Their kicker is Brian Barnick. Well, they got a new kicker in here, listed as number 80. We do not have an 80 on our program. High kick, because it's number 90. Brecky will take it at the 15. Cuts back, breaks the tackle, and gets to the 20-yard line. Ken, you had some interesting statistics about the Gustavus punting team.
Well, the Gustavus punting team has faced that's the 18th punt this season that Gustavus defenders have seen, and they've only returned 4 of them. They fair caught 2. I believe that one might have been a fair catch for now 3, but all the other ones have either gone into the end zone or they've allowed to drop. And from the experience that we have, most of them were allowed to drop, and they've got to improve in that category.
First down and 10 at their own 20-yard line. And Brecky gets the call, goes up inside the center of the field to the 23-yard line. Double check that. That was Cedric Hawkins, the ball carrier. Hawkins on the carry, got 2. It'll bring up second down and 8 as Anderson checks out of the game for Gustavus.
Gustavus offensive line, the unsung heroes, we don't mention them enough, but they're just as much players of the game last week. They opened up holes for over 200 yards of rushing.
Brecky lines up with the H-back. Twin wideouts to the right side. Swenson, the play-action pass. In trouble. Has to throw it quickly, and it's one hop to the tight end, Adam Holmes. Great pressure by the Concordia defense. Number 96, defensive end, Jared Scheck out of Hancock. 6'2", 225 was all over Court Swenson.
Yeah, he didn't bite on the fake to Cedric Hawkins. He went right after Swenson on the roll and was able to force Swenson to throw a ball that he didn't want to throw, forcing a 3rd and long.
Keeney will check in as a wide receiver. Cedric Hawkins will check out. It'll be 3rd down and 8. The Gusties on their own 24-yard line. Neither team sustaining much on offense. Now a triple formation. Trips to the left side, and Brecky the single setback. 3rd down and long. Long snap count by Swenson. Drops back to pass. Has good protection. Hit as he threw it. Almost picked off. Almost intercepted by number 57, Mike Solberg, the senior from Fargo. And again, that time the Cobber defense put a little pressure on Swenson, and we expect to see that throughout the rest of the game.
Tim Belmore out there arguing for a pass interference call. I think maybe shoulder pads got locked up a little bit. The defender was clearly going for the ball and was able to almost come up with 6 points there. It bounced off of his brick hands and fell harmlessly away, but forcing Gustavus to punt.
So Hansen will punt it away from his 10. Stuart Lang will stand at the 45 of Concordia. Hansen gets away a driller. It'll back Lang up to the 42. Looks for some open in the center of the field, across midfield to the Gusty 48 before he's dropped and brought down by Matt Johnson, the senior from Roseville. And so the Gusty defense comes back out of the field. Let's take a look at the Gustavus defense. Up front, Jason Peters, Chad Zemple, Brian Pavlish, Brent Staples. On the defensive line, linebacking core of Ryland, Wilkers, and Bachman. And in the secondary, Gogler, Gilbertson, Winschittle, and Mark Youngdahl. I see Omar Payne has come in, starting in place of Gilbertson. 1st and 10, Cobbers at midfield out of the I formation, and they give to the first man through the hole. No, it's a quarterback keeper. Nice fake that time by the quarterback, Otterman. And Otterman gets the first down to the Gustavus 35. Well, that was an excellent fake.
It sure was, and this is something the Gustavus defense hasn't faced yet this year, is that is a quarterback having that weapon of being able to run the ball. We've talked many times about in the MIAC and in the caliber of football that we have, if you have a quarterback that can run the ball, it makes the defense form a new strategy because it's an extra person they need to defend.
So the Cobbers break the huddle. I formation behind the quarterback, Otterman. 2 wideouts to the far left. And this time they go with a counter play up inside. And a pickup of about 3 yards, carrying the ball on the play, number 36 for the Cobbers, Mike Halverson. And Halverson gets about 2. It'll bring up a 2nd down and 8.
The 2 successful plays Concordia's run on offense have both involved Otterman carrying the ball. Look for him to do that more often this afternoon, and the outside linebackers and cornerbacks are going to have to step up and force him back to the inside and have some backside pursuit.
McGee lines up on the far left. Winshire split to the right. Now Langamo in motion. It'll be a 3-receiver set. Otterman rolls to his left. Under pressure. Tries to turn it back up inside and does. To the 30 and down at the 27-yard line.
That's exactly what I was talking about, Joel. They got there. They forced Otterman to turn back to the inside, but there was no backside pursuit coming across. What would have been 2nd or 3rd down and about 8 or 9 turns into 3rd and a long 1 for the first down. Big play right now for the Gustavus defense.
Coming off limping a little bit here is number 57 for the Gusties, Jason Peters. Winschittle checks out. Checking in is Chris Gallagher, and in place of is Matt Johnson, number 37, who came in for Jason Peters. Now it's 3rd down and less than a yard. Full house backfield, and the handoff, and easily is Halverson to the Gusty 24-yard line, a first down. And really that second down play that we just talked about, Ken, a big play, because they would have had Otterman back for about a 9-yard loss, and he was able to get up close to it. Now it becomes 3rd and short. They get the first down, and this is really the first momentum drive we've seen in this first quarter.
Well, and it's only been like a 20-yard drive or 25-yard drive so far because of the field position. They started in Gustavus's territory. They don't have to sustain a very long drive to put points on the board.
Langemo goes in motion. Halverson and Hago in the I formation, and it's Halverson, and Halverson goes off the right side and falls forward to the 22. A gain of a couple. It'll bring up a 2nd down and long. Making the stop for Gustavus is Brian Pavlish, a defensive tackle out of Mayer, Minnesota.
Well, this is one of those series right now where you're hoping that Concordia makes a mistake, perhaps throws a little flare pattern that's a little bit high and picked off, or perhaps a big hit for a fumble, because they do seem to have some momentum going.
2nd down at the Gusty 22. Langemo again in motion from right to left. Otterman stops him, so it's Twins to the left side. On the option, the pitch is there. To the outside is Hago. He's got some room around the corner. The 10, down inside the 5, and out of bounds at the 4-yard line.
That was a good-looking play by the Concordia offense. They had enough blockers coming back on the defensive secondary. They opened it wide open to the outside and was able to pick up a lot of yards, first down and goal inside the 5.
So the Commers will set up shop, first down and goal on the Gustavus 5-yard line, and we have 8:37 to play in a scoreless first quarter. Split way wide to the right side this time is the wideout Sean McGee, the sophomore from Bloomington. Handoff to Hago, and Hago got back to the 5, and then he was cut down.
I believe that was Zempel underneath that pile. He got way underneath that pile and was able to hit Hago around the ankles and just stopped him dead in his tracks.
Zempel took him high, or rather low, and it was Staples who got up on top. Now checking back in for Gustavus is Chris Gallagher, the sophomore linebacker from Chaska, as Dave Winchell checks out on the goal line defense. 2nd down and goal. Again, the full house backfield look. 2 tight ends in for the Cobbers. Otterman barks the signals. And on the option to the outside, Otterman tries to turn the corner. The freshman Omar Payne shuts the door. It'll be 3rd and goal from the 1.
I tell you, that's a heck of a weapon. Otterman going to the outside and just keeping that ball. Not only did he have room, he had room to pitch the ball, but what stopped that was just the sheer foot speed of Omar Payne getting out there and preventing a touchdown, giving Gustavus another chance to hold him on 3rd down here.
So the Gusties trying to come up with a big defensive stand here and force the Coppers to possibly go for a field goal. 3rd and goal from the 1. Again, the full house look, and the Gustavus faithful, couple thousand strong, trying to cheer on the Gustavus defense. Handoff to Halverson, and Halverson got it in on the left side. Touchdown, Concordia.
He didn't need much. He didn't get much. But he got the ball across that plane for 6 points. Gustavus defense needs to come back and talk about that, what they needed. They're doing a great job on Halverson and Hago up the middle, but they're not containing Otterman to the outside and keeping that portion of the game under control.
Now, we've seen this, we haven't seen Concordia, but what we've heard about them is they like to rush the football. They also like to throw, but we haven't seen much of an aerial attack, and they got the wind at their back.
Yeah, well, they're doing it on the ground. They
You
just
bet.
moved 50 yards for a score. No need to change, similar to Gustavus last week against St. Olaf.
Barnick's attempt at the extra point is up and good. We'll take time out. The Cobbers 7, the Gusties nothing. This is Gusty football on KRBI.
Got any plans for after work? You're not alone. Retirement is a subject many people would just as soon avoid.
The offense has had the ball on 2 possessions. They have had to punt both times, given the Cobbers excellent field position. As Ken mentioned, they started this drive right at midfield, and a 50-yard drive and 7 on the board. So Barnick will kick it off. And the kick. High over-ender. Brecky will field it at the 15, out to the 20, 25. Brecky looks for a hole, finds one. Gets to the 30 and down at the 32-yard line. Nice return by Brian Brecky. And the Gustavus offense will set up. If nothing else, Ken, even if Gustavus can't score this possession, they need to move down the field and try and even out the field position war.
Well, you're exactly right. With 7:15 on the clock in the first quarter, not only will moving the ball take over the field position, but it'll chew up the time on the clock so that Concordia won't have that psychological edge of having the wind at their back.
On 1st and 10, Swenson rolls out to his right. Has time, can't find anybody open, tucks the ball away and loses a yard. Great coverage by the Concordia secondary. Belmore, Keeney, and Bentley all covered well, and Swenson decided to tuck it away. It'll be 2nd down and long at the Gustavus 33-yard line.
The thing I noticed between Otterman choosing to run the ball and Swenson choosing to run the ball is that Otterman really starts turning those feet and putting that head down and moving, whereas Swenson still was a little bit tentative, and that's why he only got back to the line of scrimmage.
Single setback is Brecky on 2nd down and long. 5-man defensive front for the Cobbers. Swenson, the handoff, and Brecky goes airborne, hurdles a would-be tackler, and gets 7 yards out to the Gustavus 40. That was a great run by Brian Brecky.
Now, Brecky, noticing that the hole deteriorated, but the men went to the ground, he just jumped right over them, picked up 8 yards on the play, forcing a 3rd and a little bit, probably a long one, almost a 9-yard pickup. But this is key. They need to pick up this 1st down to keep that clock moving.
3rd down and 3. A big 3rd down conversion here for Gustavus, and that has not been a strong point so far in this game. They are 0 for 2. 6:05 to go on the first. 7-0 Concordia. Brecky goes in motion. Hawkins the single setback, and it's Cedric. Swenson is hammered after he got the ball loose, but Hawkins did not get 1st down yardage.
No, Concordia's doing everything right on defense in those plays. They know where it's going. They've done their homework on the films. They're keying Cedric Hawkins and Brian Brecky in that situation. Perhaps you got to change it up a little bit. Maybe go to a pass or do a little play action faking more often. A couple of actual real draws to be able to loosen up that defense.
So again, going back to receive the punt is Stuart Lang. Hanson will have it at the 25, so a good punt could Concordia back a little farther, and Hanson gets off a beauty. Stuart Lang backpedals to the 23, center of the field, left hash mark now to the 25, out to the 30. Ball comes loose, and Gustavus will wait for the call from the officials. It is the Gusties football. They recover it at the Concordia 29.
Well, I'd like to see that one on film. I don't know if Gustavus was the benefactor of a big break and whether his knee was down before that ball popped out, but we'll take it. Clearly the ball was fumbled, but whether he was down before he fumbled it, the ground didn't cause it. It's whether his knee was on the ground. And it's a judgment call by the official, and because that ball popped so high up in the air, that's why you're ruling it a fumble. It looked like Brian Pavlich jumped on top of it. 1st and 10 for the Gusties inside the 30.
Huge break for Gustavus here, down 7-0 midway through the first. They'll have the ball at the cover, 28. Twins to the left, single wide out right, and Brecky, the lone setback. Swenson. Handoff, Brecky. Oh, Brecky is mowed down right at the 30-yard line. Great penetration that time. Penetration by Tim Langemo, the senior from Litchfield. Kind of interesting. Langemo brothers are from Litchfield, played their high school ball for the Dragons. Also very good friends of the latest sports editor of the St. Peter Herald, Tom Fenton, also from Litchfield. Tom and his dad are here taking in the game today. We may have Tom with us at halftime. He knows the Langemo family and just an outstanding group of athletes.
Well, that they are, and they're doing a good job out there this afternoon.
3-yard loss makes it 2nd down and 13. Gustavus trying to find some rhythm here offensively. Swenson looks to pass. Quick release finds Belmore, and Belmore escapes a tackle and gets out to the 25 of the Cobbers. And that'll be a nice little pickup. It's still going to bring up 3rd down and long.
That is a nice pickup of 5 yards, but because of the loss on 1st down, it's still creating a 3rd and 7 situation. Gustavus is going to have to put this ball up in the air quickly and a little bit more often because Concordia is shutting down that running game, and that's the type of pass patterns that they need to run, the quick possession pass patterns to Bentley, Belmore, and perhaps Adam Holmes.
3rd down, and we'll call it 7 on the Cobber 25. Swenson is back to pass, has a little pressure, throws it high, and the ball is picked off by the Cobbers. Picked off by Concordia's number 57, senior linebacker Mike Solberg. And that looked like it may have been intended for Tim Belmore. If it was well overthrown. And the Cobbers get the turnover for the Gusties, so we exchange turnovers. And even though it stops the Gustavus drive, the Cobbers have it at their own 21.
It could have very easily been called offensive pass interference because I don't know who the ball actually went to the back of. It might have been Adam Holmes out there blocking for Belmore, anticipating that the pass was already going to be caught. And if it had been thrown to Belmore, it would have been a great blocking situation. But instead, the defender comes up with the interception.
So Otterman and the Coppers start 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line. On the roll, throws out to Langamo. Langamo avoids the tackle of Payne, avoids one more tackle. Langamo down the sidelines, and Langamo stepped out of bounds at about the 40-yard line.
I tell you, the Gustavus defense is finding out very quickly what some good athletes can do on offense, and what the key here is Otterman. The quarterback is controlling the flow of this game. He's running out there, and the defenders are saying, he's going to run it, I've got to get up and get him, and then he dumps off a little pass to Langamo, picks up big, 25, 30 yards on after the catch.
Well, they say he stepped out a little farther upfield. They mark it at the Copper 45, where it'll be 1st down and 10. So Otterman, the junior from Belfield, North Dakota. And that time right straight up the middle with Halverson. Halverson got little or no gain as the Gustavus front right there to collapse on him. It'll bring up 2nd down and 10.
Yeah, a good play by the interior defense. We're not seeing any weaknesses in there. They're able to defend that run up the middle very, very well. It's when Otterman rolls to the outside and the defense doesn't know whether he's going to pass it, toss it, keep it, and it's a heck of a weapon. And I'm gonna sound like a broken record all afternoon, but until the defense figures out a way to stop it, it's going to be a powerful attack for Concordia.
Langamo and McGee, the two wideouts, play action pass over the middle. It's McGee, and McGee's got it. No, falls incomplete at the Gustavus 42-yard line. On the coverage defensively for the Gustavus was Mark Youngdahl, the sophomore from Austin, Texas.
I tell you, that's what they call a knockout. The pass receiver was wide open, was able to go up for the ball, but Youngdahl comes in, puts on a strip, what they call going after the arms, and separated the hands from the ball. The ball falls harmlessly to the turf, forcing a 3rd and long.
3:33 to go here in the first quarter. 7-0 Coppers. They'll have a 3rd and 9 at their own 46. Otterman back to pass, has time, hits Langamo, wide open to the 40, avoids the tackle to the 39 and falls forward to the 37-yard line. And that'll be 1st down. So, Kenny, we saw the last possession for Concordia dominated by the run. Now we're seeing the passing game starting to pick up.
I think they want to see how effective Otterman is with the wind at his back and seeing what type of impact that's going to have on the game. Let that work a little bit. Now, I wouldn't be surprised on this play that they're close to the left hash, that they roll Otterman to the wide side of the field, perhaps in an option situation.
So the Coppers have it 1st and 10 at the Gustavus 38-yard line. And it's Halverson right up the middle to the 30, down to the 25-yard line. And Concordia is just getting way too much yardage on every single play.
Well, that was Gilbertson coming up as he's a leading tackler for Gustavus. Not a good statistic to have when your strong safety or free safety is your leading tackler. But he gets up underneath him, allowing Halverson to fall forward for another 2-yard pickup.
So another 1st down, and the Coppers have it at the Gustavus 25, 1st and 10. Twin wideouts to the left. Now Langamo comes in motion right to left. The option play. Otterman tries to go up inside, and Jason Peters shut the door after a gain of 1. It'll be 2nd down and 9.
Yeah, that was a good play by Jason Peters. Actually, he hit him, and Otterman was actually to fall forward, kept his feet turning a little bit. Actually, looks like he picked up about 3 yards on that play, Joel, and that's because you're not getting the defenders up and underneath those shoulder pads, driving them backward. You're driving them, actually catching them from behind and letting them carry you downfield.
So it's 2nd down and 6 after the 4-yard pickup. Coppers threatening to open up a bigger lead. They lead 7-0. A quick toss. It's Hago on the left side. Cuts back at the 20 inside the 15-yard line. And he's going to be close to, if not enough, for another Copper 1st down.
Well, this attack by Concordia is reminiscent of 1988 when Concordia was, I think they had an 8-0 record coming down to Gustavus, and Gustavus was not having one of their best years, and they turned it around in a snowstorm with the wind at their back and put 35 points on the board, 3 of those touchdowns coming in the 3rd quarter with the wind, and it takes the wind out of the sails of the other team, and that's what Concordia is doing right now. Gustavus defense doesn't know what to do. They don't know how to react to this. They haven't been down in this situation where they've just gotten stomped on all the way down the field consistently.
Looks like freshman Omar Payne injured. We've got a timeout. We'll take a break with 2:10 to go in the first quarter of play. The Coppers 7, the Gusties nothing. This is Gusty football on KRBI. An ankle injury perhaps on the right ankle or the right leg, something, and Omar, the freshman, gets a big round of applause by the Gustavus faithful. And that could be a big loss for the Gustavus defense.
Well, not only is Omar Payne not putting any weight on that foot, it doesn't look like he'll be back this afternoon. We'll wait to hear what the prognosis is from Gary, the athletic trainer, to see if he'll be back yet this season. Looking at it from Concordia's perspective, look for them to roll Otterman to that side consistently now, testing Omar Payne's replacement.
It's Joe Gogler in to replace Omar Payne. It'll be 1st and 10 at the Gustavus 15-yard line. Commerce up 7-zip and threatening to add more. Otterman, a long snap count, and on the option, the pitch to Haugo. Haugo looks for a little shake and bake and spins and dances inside the 10 to the 9-yard line, and that'll be close to another first down. It'll be about 2 yards shy. It'll bring up a 2nd down, and they're going to mark it a 7-yard gain. 2nd and 3.
Well, they did run right at Gogler. He did a nice job of breaking down, getting in a nice football stance in front of him. Went after the hips. The hips went by him. He had to tackle him going sideways, and that allows the ball carrier to pick up an extra 2-3 yards every time.
2nd down, ball at the Gustavus 8-yard line with 1:20 to go in the first, and it's Haugo. Haugo tries to get outside and does to the 10 and smacked at the 5. Nice stick that time by number 45 of the Gusties. Big hit put on by Mark Yundall, the sophomore from Texas.
I tell you, Eric Gilbertson went low, wrapped him up in the ankles, and Youngdahl, perfect form tackle, coming up over the top, hit him square in the shoulders. That's how football is defined when you're defining tackling. That one could be used in a training tape.
So it is enough for a first down. So we go 1st and goal from the Gustavus 5-yard line with a minute left to go in the opening quarter. And the Cobbers threatening to go up by a pair of touchdowns here. The full house look with the 2 tight end. Oh, fumble! And Otterman falls on it. It'll be a loss of 3 back to the Gustavus 7-yard line. Little miss exchange there by the Cobbers. And it'll be 2nd and goal now from the 7 as Dave Winchittle checks into the Gustavus secondary. And checking out for the Gusties is Chris Gallagher, the sophomore from Chaska, as they continue to work on Omar Payne down the training table. And Kenny, I don't expect we'll see him back at all today.
Well, I'm looking for Concordia. I don't think so, Joe. And I'm looking for Concordia right now to be able to use a timeout here if they're forced into a 4th down situation, just in case they're forced to kicking a field goal and not turning this around with only about 30 seconds left in the quarter.
Otterman rolls, looks, has time, tries to avoid the would-be rush. Oh, and he's going to get in for a touchdown. Unbelievable. The Gusties had him wrapped up. It was 39, Troy Bachman, and then Bachman got hit by his own player, Chad Zempel, and he lost his grip. Otterman breaks free and scores.
Well, that's the athletic ability of Otterman, keeping his feet churning, and one of those breaks he had, and Bachman had him wrapped up, but he just had a handful of shirt, but was slowing Otterman, allowing pursuit to come in. Zempel comes in as that pursuit and actually knocks his own player off the tackle, and Otterman in for 6 points.
So it's a 13-0 lead with 4 seconds left to go in the first quarter of play. And the extra point attempt by Barnick is up and good. And a 14-0 score. Well, I'll tell you what, Kenny, this is going to be a true test of Gustavus's will to win. Down by 14 points at home for homecoming. The offense has not been able to get anything going, but give credit where credit is due. The Concordia defense is about 90% of the reason of that. Gustavus offense isn't really being themselves. Concordia defense is just playing outstanding. But this will be a good test to see if Gustavus can come back from a little adversity, down by 2 touchdowns here, and keep their minds and mental aspect focused on trying to come back and win this game.
Well, the one thing going into this drive right now, after the kickoff, provided that they do field the kickoff, they'll start 1st and 10 with the wind at their back. So maybe the psychological edge, who knows? They were throwing the ball into the wind. Maybe turning it around and throwing the ball with the wind will have a different impact. But right now, Concordia is in control of this football game.
4 seconds to go here in the first quarter, so we'll keep it here for the kickoff and then break away after the first quarter has concluded. Brecky and Mike Johnson back to receive the Barnick kick, and there it is. This is an end-over-ender, going to be a little on the short side. Brecky will field it at the 15. Brecky to the 20, 25, 30, 35. Brecky dances to the outside, down at the 38-yard line. And the Gusties will have great position to start the second quarter. We are through 1 at Hollingsworth Field. It's the Cobbers 14, The Gusties nothing. This is Gusty football on KRBI.
The Bookmark, your primary outlet for Gustavus clothing and supplies, is proud to be a sponsor of this Golden Gusty football broadcast. Store manager Karen Zins and her staff send an invitation to students, parents, alumni, and the St. Peter community to stop.
Bentley and Kinney split to the right side. Belmore left. Brecky the lone single setback. A four-man defensive front right now for the Cobbers. And it's Brecky. Brecky's got some room. Brecky to the outside. 45. Cuts back, and it should have a first down at the 49-yard line. And you can see that play develop from up here. Good blocking up front.
And Brecky turning to he senses something out there. He senses that the fans aren't into the game. The sidelines aren't into the game. He's turning at people, trying to get them pumped up. We need the fans to get into this game, get these guys going. Don't sit back and say, oh, maybe Gustavus isn't for real. Maybe they just got lucky 3 games in a row. You know, we know they're young. We know they're inexperienced. They've got to come out. They've got to turn this around right now, take this momentum that they have going, and it looks like they did pick up the first down.
So a 10-yard run ripped off by Brecky out of New Richland, Minnesota. And so the Gusties will have it, and this is really the Gustavus' deepest penetration so far. It's their own 49-yard line. Maybe this could be the drive that starts the momentum shift. Brecky again, the single back. Belmore to the right and Twins to the left on 1st and 10, right shy of midfield. Swenson with a hard count to the handoff to Brecky. Brecky spins and bulls his way into Cobber territory at the 45-yard line. 3 Concordia defensive front players bit on the hard snap count, but got back before. No contact made, no flag. Pickup of 6, 2nd and 4.
Actually, that play, you know, you're hoping that maybe it's a 5-yard penalty, so you get in a 1st and 5 situation. But a lot of times, a play like that, when you get those defenders jumping off, their momentum going backwards occurs right when you snap the ball, and the blockers can just keep their momentum going backwards, and Breck was able to pick up 5-6 yards on that play.
Hawkins checks in as the single back. H-back now is Brecky on 2nd down. Brecky goes in motion. Let's see if the Gusties go to the air. No, it's a quick toss to Hawkins. Hawkins tries to get to the outside and finds little or no room. Tackled down around the ankles by Jared Scheck, the junior from Hancock, Minnesota. And now it's a 3rd down and about 4 for the Gusties.
That swarming defense by Concordia, I don't know about a toss into the sidelines. Unless you saw something in film, you got to try that one out just to see how Concordia reacts. But with the way they've been moving and keeping their shoulders parallel to that line of scrimmage, that's not going to be a very successful play without giving Cedric more running room.
3 wideouts, Bentley and Kinney to the right and Belmore to the left. 3rd down and 4 at the Cobbers 45-yard line. And the play fake. Swenson in trouble and throws, but it falls incomplete as he was wrapped up in the arms of Chad Johnson. And as a result, it'll be a punting situation, so the Gusties penetrate, get some good momentum going, but at least with this punt, the wind at their back, and the way Hansen has been booming these kicks, the Gusties can get some good coverage down there. They can pin Concordia deep.
Yeah, they're going to let Hansen give a try here at a pooch punt. I just hope that he doesn't take it into consideration and say, I got to try to kick this one short, and he ends up shanking it by putting it up high in the air. He's got to punt this one just about as hard as he can punt a punt, but just angle it to the out of bounds and let the wind carry it.
Stuart Lang stands back at the 10-yard line. Hansen to punt from the Gustavus 40. Gets off a nice high kick. Lang will call for the fair catch. It takes a bounce. Gustavus at the 2. They down it at the 1-yard line. What a great play by the Gustavus special teams.
And that time they learned from the mistake of last time where they knocked the ball and carried it into the end zone for a touchback. In this situation, they watched the films from the Carleton game where the ball was stopped on the 1. Troy Bachman coming up with a huge play, caught the ball on one hop, and as he was going into the end zone, he dropped the ball back into the field of play. Now Concordia has to go 99 yards and see if Gustavus can come up with a strong defensive stand.
Well, that was a nice kick. It hopped. It took the bounce at about the 10 where Lang called for the fair catch. It bounced behind him at the 7, and the Gusties got the favorable roll. So the Cobbers backed up. They'll work from the full house 3-back set. Handoff to Halverson. Halverson goes right up the middle and got a couple. Brings the ball out to the 4. That'll give the Cobbers a couple of yards of breathing room to try and run their offense. I think Wilker made the stop defensively. 12:50 to go here in the first half. Concordia up 14-0 over Gustavus. Gustavus has had the ball in Concordia territory only once so far in the first half. But they've got the Cobbers pinned deep now. It's 2nd down and 7 from the Concordia 5-yard line. Again, the 3-back full house look, and this time it's Haugo. And no, it wasn't. Let's double check the runner for you.
It looks like he's hurt, so we're not going to be able to make a check on it. They're running a full house back. Actually, it was the center that was hurt on that play. They're running a full house backfield. That plays right into Gustavus' strength. They're going to be coming up the middle. I wouldn't be surprised in this situation if Concordia comes out with the same front of a full house backfield, but then sprints Otterman to the outside towards the press box here on the wide side of the field.
Now on 3rd down and 7, they'll go to the I. 2 wideouts to the left, 1 right on 3rd and long. Otterman in his own end zone, rolls, looks, has some time, and it's incomplete. Good job by the defensive secondary of the Gusties. Gilbertson right there on the coverage.
Well, this is the play now where we see if there's any success. Concordia's punter is going to be facing a stiff wind. He's going to be putting it up. Brecky, as the receiver, has to field this ball. Do not give it a chance to bounce and lose 10, 15 yards on a roll. You're standing at your 35-yard line, Brian. Make sure you get underneath this ball and catch it. If you have to fair catch it, do it, but get possession right there.
Well, I'll tell you, they should have good position, and the way Brecky has returned some of the kickoffs, if he can take it on the fly, they could have excellent position. High punt. Brecky's going to backpedal and will fair catch it at the 48-yard line. And the Gusties will have it 1st and 10 when we come back. 11:41 to go in the first half. The Cobbers up 14-0. This is Gustie football at KRBI.
And Lutheran was brought to you by the Ken Odell Agency of Mankato. Ken is proud to be a sponsor of Golden Gustie football.
1st down and 10, and the pass complete to Belmore. Belmore down to the Cobber 41-yard line. So with the wind at their back, Kurt Swenson puts it up in the air, and it'll be a gain of 7, 2nd down and 3.
I like that little move that Tim Belmore does after he catches the ball. He ducks one shoulder, defender goes flying over the top, and he's able to pick up that 1 or 1.5, 2 extra yards after he makes that catch and turn. He doesn't want, in that type of pass pattern, he doesn't know who's going to be hitting him right away as soon as he catches it.
Hand off to Brecky on 2nd down. Ball comes loose. The Cobbers pick it up. Running for a touchdown is Shad Young, the junior, and Young will walk in for a touchdown, Cobbers.
That's a new rule in the NCAA a couple of years ago where they allowed the advancement of a fumble. When I was playing, you couldn't do that. You could only recover a fumble. And now, the ball popped out of Brecky's hands, went back a couple of yards. Defender picks it up and scampers almost, about 50 yards for a touchdown.
Shad Young, the junior from Fargo, North Dakota, has taken some serious wind out of the Gustavus ship here. A 52-yard fumble recovery, picked up and ran in for a touchdown. And Brecky doesn't fumble the ball very often. That one really came out kind of weird. Brecky was well into the hole, and that ball squirted free.
It was a fist or a helmet put right on the ball, punched it straight back, and there wasn't a Gustavus offensive player close enough to even try to catch the defender running that in.
Barnick will attempt the extra point. It's up and low, shank left.
And that's the psychological aspect of kicking it into the wind. I mean, that right there, an extra point you should be able to kick into a really strong wind like that, but he's over, a little bit psyched, a little bit psyched out by it, and shanks it to the left. That could be the break that Gustavus needs later on in the game, but they've got to establish some territory here. Brecky get a nice big run back here and start at 1st and 10.
So the Cobbers jump out to a 20-0 lead here for homecoming. And the Gusties will try and regroup with 10:58 left to play here in the first half of action. So the Cobbers benefit from a pair of turnovers here in the first half. One, an interception. The second, a fumble. And they lead it 20-0.
And we talked off the air that Gustavus has a +8 in the giveaway takeaway scenario, and the Cobbers are a +3. This afternoon so far, the Cobbers are +1, and they've got points after it as well.
So Barnick will kick it away. Brecky and Johnson back deep for Gustavus. 10:58 to play in the first half. This one will be taken by Brecky. Back pedals to the 6, out to the 10, 15, cuts back 20. Nice juke move, but gets down and popped to the 22-yard line. Good play defensively by Jared Zebart, the freshman from Cambridge, Minnesota, down there on special teams to make the hit.
Well, still 10:53 to go in the second quarter. Gustavus has been climbing a hill this entire game. They gave up 2 touchdowns in the first quarter to Concordia, and now they on their last possession fumbled it. Concordia was able to take it in for a score on the recovery. They've got to turn it right around again and start churning, pick up the first downs, get some confidence back.
Trips to the left on 1st and 10 at their own 21-yard line. Brecky the single set. Gustavus looking to find that rhythm. Again, the Coppers almost jump offside. This may be a busted play. Swenson will wounded duck it to the sidelines. And I think that was intended to be a handoff to Brecky. And Swenson turned around. Brecky went the wrong way. And Kurt just rolled out. Everybody was covered. He threw it incomplete. 2nd down and 10.
Yeah, I don't know if it was intended to be a running play. There would have been men downfield in that situation, and there would have been a penalty. But I don't know if maybe Swenson turned the wrong way. Looks like Gustavus is going to talk that over. They're calling timeout.
Timeout. We'll take a break. 10:48 to play before the break at halftime. Coppers
should go from here. It's part of Federated's value difference, and that's something else you can count on, just like the Swallows at Capistrano, except without all the tourists.
Federated Insurance, the value difference.
Brought to you by 1980 graduate Don Elwood with Federated in Owatonna, 51 graduate Art Adamson with Federated in Eden Prairie, and 1990 graduate Tim Schwartz with Federated Insurance in North Mankato.
On 2nd down, Swenson finds Brian Brecky on a little slant pass, picks up 7 on the play. It'll bring up a 3rd down and 3. And this really is one of the most crucial 3rd down conversions Gustavus has had. Down 20-0 with 10.5 to go in the first half. They need to get a 1st down to keep this drive sustained. Brecky the single set, 3 to the right. Swenson, the long snap count up under center. Looks, and threw a bad pass for Tim Belmore. And it falls incomplete. It'll be 4th down. The Gusties will have to force it again. The Gustavus offense, Kenny, just is not working in rhythm today.
Well, the Concordia, you got to give credit to the Concordia defense. Their D-backs are like, they're stuck like glue onto these guys, and Swenson can't find anybody open. So he's going back to, all right, look at the primary receiver, Tim Belmore, hit him, try to get him for the 1st down. And Tim's covered. He's looking downfield. Benji Keeney's covered. Bentley's covered. Holmes is covered. What do? You got to scramble, and he doesn't have the capabilities to do that.
Hansen will punt it away. Lang will stand back at the Copper 30. And the kick, and Hansen gets off a beauty, a high floater. Back to the 27-yard line. Lang jukes at the 30, finds him over to the outside 35, down the 38-yard line. And Kenny, we see Couchman, the backup QB, doing a little warm-up work. We may see him come in for a series, see if he can't spark the Gustavus offense their next possession.
Well, Coach Shinovich, he does like getting Couchman some experience. I don't think he's ready to give up on a Swenson, and it's too early. I mean, Kurt's doing a job. They've moved the ball a couple times, picked up a couple of 1st downs, but the Concordia defense is over there. But when you can change things up, if things start to happen, maybe that is a spark that they need, but it also gives Couchman some experience.
Coppers have it at their own 38-yard line, 1st down and 10. Otterman will work from the I formation. Halverson gets the call, draw up the middle, and Halverson rips through for 10 yards out to the midfield stripe. That'll be a gain of 11, 1st down Concordia.
That's the first gain straight up the middle that we've seen like that. That's one of the plays that Gustavus has defended extremely well. But this time they go right up the middle and pick up a 1st down. That's one that they used to have to go to the outside for.
So the Coppers right at midfield with a 20-0 lead. The Gustavus defense needs to make a stand here with under 9:40 to go before halftime. Otterman on the option, will keep it, fakes the pitch, and still drives his feet forward. Otterman, a tough runner to bring down, gets to the Gustavus 43.
Yeah, I'm finding it extremely hard to believe that Concordia scored 3 points against Augsburg, and they scored 6 points against Hamlin. Maybe their defenses at Augsburg and Hamlin are just ultimately tough as well. This is a good Concordia offense, what we're seeing this afternoon.
Otterman has really been the key for the Coppers. He has confused the Gustavus defense and picked up 7 yards there. 2nd down and 3 at the Gusty 44. This time it's Hago, and they really haven't given the ball much to Hago in the first half, but on the other hand, with the way Otterman's been running it, understandably so.
he could easily be a leading runner on this team. I think they're going to try to, Halgo is the leading runner, but Otterman this afternoon could come out with 100-plus yards the way he's been doing it.
Ridland made the stop for the Gusties. Now it's a 3rd down and 4. So the Gusty defense will look to stop Concordia here. They haven't been successful on Concordia. They've converted just about every 3rd down. At the 44, Otterman back to pass. Has some time, set up, chased out of the pocket. He's in deep trouble. Big trouble. Now he turns upfield, 40, 45. Throws on the run, incomplete at the 22.
That's superior athletic ability by Otterman right there. He was chased back 20, 30, almost 35 yards back behind the line of scrimmage. He was able to avoid all attackers, got a couple of key blocks keeping them from doing it, and he darn near threw a 1st down pass. And that's just sheer. It looked like Tarkenton back there doing those moves. But any other quarterback in the league might have been sacked for a big loss.
So the Gusty defense holds, and the Comers will punt it away. Marcus Erickson, a sophomore from Hawley, Minnesota, will do the Comers' first punt. And Dave Winchittle back at the Gusty 14 to receive. Low snap. And gotten away. Bounces and will, I don't know. Are they going to mark that at the 5? That was a double dip. Both defenders were in the air into the end zone, threw it back to one another. And
they're signaling touchback right now.
They did. I was going to say that would be pretty tough.
The second defender, the first defender did a nice job, but the ball would have hit in the end zone. The back official dropped his beanbag where the second man in the end zone touched the ball. His foot was in the end zone when he was touching the ball. So it's in that instance, it becomes a touchback. So now 1st and 10 on the 20-yard line. They've got to mount something here with only 8 minutes left in the second quarter.
Down by 20 points. Gustavus indeed needs to ride on down the field. Trips to the right side. Brecky again, the single set for the Gusties, black and gold. Swenson. Draw play to Brian Brecky. Brecky busts through the hole, spins and dives forward to the 27-yard line. That'll be a nice pickup. It'll bring up 2nd down and about 3.
Brian Brecky and Cedric Hawkins, have gained a lot of yards this season, but Cedric's longest run is 20 yards and Brecky's longest run is 16. We've talked often that the one thing that's missing is that breakaway run. They've gotten shoestring tackle, just one defender, that type of thing. We need a big break. We need Cedric to take one up the outside or Brecky to take one up the inside and pick up a 50-yard gain.
Hawkins now the setback. Brecky the H-back on 2nd and 3. It's Cedric Hawkins. Hawkins pulls ahead to the 30, and that's going to be very close to 1st down yardage. If he didn't get it, it'll bring up a 3rd down and about less than a yard. And I think he's just a tad shy. I don't even think they're going to measure.
No, this is the exact case that happened last night. They started 1st and 10 on a 20-yard line from a touchback. The nose of the football is touching the 30-yard line, 1st down, and that's exactly what the official says. I mean, there's no way about it. Willie Lindquist's markings on this field, if it says 10 yards, it's 10 yards. And the nose of the football hit the 30-yard line, automatic 1st down.
According to the chains on the sideline, may have been just shy, but as Ken mentioned, the markings on the field are definitely accurate. Willie wouldn't have it any other way. 7:03 to go. 1st down for the Gusties at their own 30-yard line. And Hawkins in deep trouble on the handoff. Drop back to the 27-yard line. Loss of 3. It'll bring up 2nd down and 13.
That's the Achilles heel of this Gustavus offense, is when they come out on that 1st down play and they lose a yard or 2. That forces them in a 2nd and 3rd down situation to have to pick up 5-6 yards each time. They're an offense that's good at picking up the 4 yards, but not the 6 yards. They're going to force Swenson into looking for Belmore or perhaps Bentley and maybe even Adam Holmes in this situation for a 1st down.
2nd and long for the Gusties. Trying to move the ball downfield, but the Comers defense has been stingy throughout the entire 1st half of play. Swenson a good drop, has plenty of time, looks over the middle, intended for Belmore, and that one overthrown at about the 40-yard line. It'll bring up 3rd down and long.
I'm watching number 57 for Concordia. His name's Mike Solberg. He's a senior linebacker, 6'2", 210. His assignment this afternoon is to mirror Brian Brecky. And in that play, that what they did was that they sent Benji Keeney across the middle. I think it was Benji Keeney, maybe it wasn't, but they sent him across the middle to pick him off on a play, and they blocked him while the ball was in the air, which is technically a penalty. And it sprung Brian Brecky open for a flat pass pattern, but that type of pick play is questionable from an officiating standpoint.
3rd and long, Gustavus at their own 27, looking to come up with big yardage here on 3rd down. And Swenson will tuck the ball away, gets out over the 35 to the 37-yard line. That'll bring a 4th down and 3. And Jeff Hansen will come in to punt it away. And the Cobber defense continues its iron curtain against the black and gold.
Yeah, there aren't many statistics being built on offense this game. Perhaps, the biggest one being Jeff Hansen's punting. He's done a great job so far this afternoon. Let's see if he can launch another one.
So Hansen will kick from the Gustavus 22, and Stuart Lang back to receive at the Cobber 22 as well. And Hansen got this one off the right side of his foot, flutters, and does take Gustavus bounce. Lang takes it on the 1 hop to the 36. And the Cobbers will have it 1st and 10 with 5:32 to go here in the first half. Concordia up 20-0. We'd like to welcome those of you dialed up today on Team Line, checking us out across the country. And a 20-0 lead right now for the Cobbers. And Gustavus trying to find some answers here. On top of the MIAC at 3-0 coming into this game. Cobbers looking to play the spoiler, having Gustavus attempting to handle their first conference loss of the year, and they lead by 20 here with under 5.5 left to play in the first half. Now McGee goes in motion from right to left. Otterman gives the ball to Halverson, and Halverson on the handoff dives across the line of scrimmage for a gain of 2.
Gustavus defense doing a nice job on that play. Joel had a tough time seeing who was in on the stop. Got to give credit for getting underneath and putting some stops on this play, but they're not doing it what the Concordia defense is doing, and that is coming up for 3 big plays in a row, forcing the opposition to punt.
Gustavus fans starting to get into it here, trying to rally behind their crew. 2nd down and 7. Quick toss to Haugo on the right side at the 35, back to the 40, breaks the tackle, still on his feet and all the way out to the 44-yard line. 2 yards shy of the first down, 3rd and short.
Now there's a learning tape right there by Troy Bachman. He was playing the ball nicely, but what was happening is his shoulders were square to the line of scrimmage, but he was giving up about a half a yard with every 2 steps that he would take. He was getting pushed off the ball. He was heading towards the ball carrier, but the ball carrier is picking up yardage. But more importantly, it prevents the backside linebackers from coming across flat on the line of scrimmage. He's got to step up into that man and knock him down and let the backside linebackers tackle the ball carrier.
3rd down and short, and Haugo gets the call, has the first down, and Moore still on his feet into Gustavus territory at the 45.
Gustavus crowd getting into it a little bit, like you said. What's missing this year, Gustavus doesn't have any cheerleaders, but right now they've got, it looks like a couple of sorority and fraternity pledge classes or whatever out there, and they're trying to get the fans riled up a little bit, create some noise out here, get the defense pumped up.
Trying to get the wave going here at Hollingsworth Field. Cobbers seem unaffected. 1st and 10 at the Gustavus 45. Otterman on the pitch. Haugo has some room, breaks the tackle to the 40 and down to the 37-yard line. And again, Concordia continues to get an average of 7 yards of crack on first down carries.
Yeah, and that's what Gustavus was having success last week against St. Olaf, and now they're getting a taste of their own medicine as Concordia is continually picking up yardage on first down, anywhere from 5 to 7 yards, and it creates open opportunities, ample opportunities on 2nd down and short. Otterman can go up top with it right now if he wants.
It is 2nd down and short, a 9-yard gain on first down. And they elect to go to Halverson, a little inside trap play, and Mike Halverson across the 35 has enough for first down yardage. And the Cobbers have controlled this first half of football from the opening kick with 3:13 to go. It's 20-0 with the ball on the Gustavus 34.
Coach Christopherson playing it conservative, also playing very, very good time management right now with 3:13, 3:10 on the clock and ticking. He's going to keep the ball on the ground. He wants to score with no time left on the clock, not even giving Gustavus another chance.
Cobbers have it in Gustavus territory at the 34. Quick toss, this time on the outside. The ball carrier is Eli Schuff, a sophomore from Billings, Montana. And Schuff gets across the 30 Stopped by DJ Wilker at the Gustavus 29-yard line. It'll be another pickup on first down. This one went for 6 yards, 2nd and 4.
Concordia doing a nice job. They're not concerned about timeouts. They're not concerned about the time on the clock. They're moving the ball. They're picking yards up on everything. They're not panicking. They're poised. They're confident. They're ready to put some points on the board. And Gustavus has got to come up with a big-time play, get a turnover here.
2nd down and short for the Covers. And Halverson got little or nothing that time. Wilker got the initial contact on him, and then he got some help from Aaron Rux, a sophomore from Sibley East. Of course, many of our local high school fans will know that name. Aaron played for the Wolverines and Dave Main.
Well, Concordia substituting 2 wide receivers on this play. 3rd and short, perhaps just to give a couple of guys a break, because I don't think in 3rd and less than a yard they're going to do any type of passing. They went into a full house backfield.
3rd down and less than a yard indeed, and Halverson gets the carry, and Halverson goes off the right side, has the first down at the Gustavus 24. Clock down to 1:37 and ticking. Coppers, as you mentioned, Ken, an excellent job of clock management here, and they'll move the sticks.
They still have 3 timeouts from unofficial record that I'm keeping up here, and with 1:37 on the clock, they're going to start winding it right now. They're at the 23-yard line. They don't have anything to worry about. They don't even have to throw incomplete passes. They can run 3 running plays and call their timeouts there and at least be in position to kick a field goal.
Coppers at the Gustavus 24. Langamo and McGee, twin wideouts to the left side, and a loose football as Otterman had a bad exchange from the center. A bad exchange that time between Chad Schwartz and Otterman. Otterman falls on it back to the 25. It'll be a 2-yard loss, and now timeout called on the field. Taken by Concordia. We'll take a break with 1:04 to go in the first half. Coppers 20, Gusty's nothing. This is Gusty football at KRBI.
We're live at the Whiskey.
Put extra points on there, either 26 or 23, forcing Gustavus to come out with touchdowns and 2-point conversions or 4 touchdowns. It's a little bit tougher hill to climb.
Otterman play fake, has time, steps up in the pocket, looking for it all, and McGee just threw the outstretched hands in the back of the end zone. Incomplete, 3rd down and 12.
Boy, that pass route by McGee was probably a yard off the mark. If he would have run towards the pylon or towards the post, because that's what he was on, was a post pattern, he took the cut a little bit shallow because that's where the defender gave it to him, and Otterman not able to see that he had to make his break a little bit sooner, just threw it just on a different pathway, and McGee could have taken that extra step. He would have had 6 points.
So it's 3rd down and long. Langamo again comes in motion from right to left. Otterman on the option, pitches back to Haugo. Haugo down the sidelines, 20 inside the 15. Let's see if he stepped out any earlier. If not, it should be at about the 14-yard line.
Looks like they're marking it at the 16.
They backed it up 2 yards. He stepped out the 16. It'll bring up a 4th down and 3, almost 4 yards now. And if you're Coach Christopherson, you've had success running the ball. Do you run it, try and keep the drive moving with 53 seconds, or do you take your 3 points?
No, I think with the wind blowing in the kicker's face, the fact that he missed an extra point from kicking into the wind, it's 4th. You've been able to pick up 3 or 4 yards on every play. The risk to try to put 6 points on the board here is well worth it.
So the Comers will go forward on 4th down and 4 at the Gustavus 16-yard line. Otterman in trouble between his own line mates, and the pass overthrown, incomplete. And the Gusties will have the wind at their back and 50 seconds left. This may be a real test now for the Gustavus offense. Obviously, they've got some timeouts left, 50 seconds, wind at their back. They'd like to at least get something on the scoreboard here before the halftime break. And a touchdown right now would be a big momentum shift if Gustavus could come down the field and put some points up.
Good thinking from the offensive standpoint. I take the defensive standpoint in this part. I don't want to put it up top. I don't want to risk the chance of an interception, except maybe on 3rd down when more time is run off the clock. I don't want to go in at halftime having just given up the ball.
1st and 10. Swenson is back to pass. Has some time. He's looking for Belmore. Tipped, and he caught it. No, he's out of bounds. Boy, that was tipped by one of the linebackers. Belmore reeled it in at the 35, but he came down out of bounds. It'll be 2nd down and 10.
Yeah, the ruling there is that he would have come down out of bounds had he not even been hit by that defender. And because of the tip, Belmore had to adjust it. And that's a situation where now it's 2nd and 10. You reeled off 6 seconds off the clock. I wouldn't be surprised just to give it to Brecky in this situation, see if he can pick up some yards.
Ball at the far left hash mark on 2nd and 10, and Swenson drops back to pass. In trouble and sacked back at the 7-yard line.
See, now you're facing a situation. Concordia is going to call 2 timeouts now. Gustavus is going to be forced to punt the ball. They're not going to be able to run the clock out. They should have run the ball on 1st down, forced Concordia to use 2 of their timeouts. And now they're faced, 3rd down inside the 10. Concordia will call timeout on this after this play.
Coppers take timeout, so will we, with 35 to go in the first half. 20-0 Concordia. This is Gusty football at KRBI. Brotherhood halftime report. We'll have our installment of Gustavus Flashback. And normally we bring you Gustavus Athlete of the Week, but because of the fact that the Gustavus Athletic Department will be inducting some inductees in the Hall of Fame, we'll talk about the induction and go through that with you coming up at halftime. Coppers took a timeout, big loss, almost 9 on the play. It'll bring up 3rd down, and 19. Back at the Gustavus 9-yard line. Trips to the right side. Brecky the single setback. Swenson rolls. Nice block by Brian Brecky. Throws it up downfield. Oh, just out of the outstretched hands of Neil Bentley at the 29. That would have been a 1st down if he could have reeled it in.
Unbelievable, because now with this clock is stopped with 30 seconds left and they're forced to punt, Concordia is going to get great field position, have the chance to run 2 offensive plays with a timeout. If you run the ball on that play, Concordia is forced to use their last timeout. Then you punt the ball, and they'll have to be forced to run out the clock or throw passes, something that they haven't shown success into the wind.
Hansen will stand about 6 yards deep in his end zone. Stuart Lang. And the kick almost blocked. It'll be a wobbler, takes a hop. Lang's going to have to chase it down, and will just back away. The Gusties will settle at the Copper 48 with 20 seconds left to go in the first half. And now Concordia, with 1 timeout left, has the opportunity to put the ball up with the wind in their face. And leading 20-0 here, they've got time to run some plays.
I know Coach Schoenebeck. I've talked to him a lot. He has faith in his offense and the plays that they call, and he doesn't want to act like you're giving up in any situation. You want to be able to run that down. But with the experience that Christofferson has on the other sideline in all his head coaching years, he knew what was going to be happening. Use the timeouts effectively and give Concordia 1 more shot.
Otterman back to pass. Little timing pattern for Hago down the sidelines. Almost picked off by the Gusties. So close. Eric Youngdahl almost reeled it in.
That's the one advantage here, is that Concordia hasn't been able to throw the ball very successfully into the wind. Ball's been hanging up a little bit. So with 14 seconds left on the clock, look for them to put the ball up 2 more times.
2nd down and 10 at the Copper zone 48. And a good job defensively that time, as almost up with the INT was Youngdahl. Omar Payne has been taken off the field. We don't expect to see him back. We'll try and find out at halftime what. Now a little draw play to Halverson. Halverson gets a couple to the 50-yard line. That'll be 9 seconds left. And the Coppers will concede the final 9 ticks and go into halftime with a comfortable lead of 20-0 here at the halftime break. So the Coppers will travel from the northern part of Minnesota down to St. Peter, lead it by 20 at the break. Gustavus a goose egg at halftime. And the Gusties will have to make some adjustments. We'll try to make some adjustments here as we get ready for 3rd quarter action.
The way we design it, you got to get the players open. Hey, receivers, don't just run your pattern. React to the defender. Get open and let Kurt Swenson find him. I wouldn't be surprised if we just see maybe Couchman come in for a series or 2 just to see if it provides that necessary spark for the Gustavus offense. Other than that, there's not too many adjustments you can make. I mean, flat out, I think, the bottom line is that Concordia's defense is better than the Gustavus offense, but you've got to be able to come out and try to disprove that theory.
Coppers come back out onto the field. We'll take our final break here for the Lutheran Brotherhood halftime report. And we'll come back and take a look at the numbers, and then second half action comes your way. The Coppers 20, the Gusties nothing. This is Gusty football on KRBI.
At Lutheran Brotherhood, we encourage a new approach to charitable giving, a gift of life insurance. This method of giving allows you to make a large total donation by paying only small monthly premiums, and those premiums are tax-deductible contributions. Ask your local Lutheran.
Out on fire here in the second half. And again, defensively, I think, we talked about it in the first quarter, that I thought whoever controlled the first quarter of football, regardless of what the score was going to have the advantage, and Concordia controlled the entire first half.
And that we talked about it early, that could be the key to the game. Right now, looking at it as a half of football, having to come back from down 20 points, you've got to be able to control the third quarter, but it looks like Concordia is going to get the first chance, as Gustavus will take the win during the third quarter and kick off.
Gustavus 7 punts in the first half of football. They averaged 37 yards a punt off the leg of Hansen. The Cobbers just 3. That also says quite a bit.
Well, it's because Concordia has been able to sustain some drives, get down into scoring position or in fourth down where they turned it over on downs once or twice. Gustavus starting with not the greatest field position. They get a first down or 2 first downs, and then they kick it away. Hansen's done a great job of getting the ball off as a punter. They haven't. The fact that Gustavus has had 3 punts blocked and Concordia's blocked 2 hasn't become a factor yet, although it almost did right at the end of the half. But the defense is going to have to come out strong and hold Concordia to 3 downs and a punt.
Ball keeps blowing off of the tee, and we may have to have one of the Gusties come up and hold it. Let's see if Hansen can get it set. Hago back deep at the 3-yard line for the Concordia Cobbers. A fresh 15 on the clock, and we are set to get the second half of football underway. Hansen's got it teed up with a 35. Looks like the ball is going to stay on the tee, and there's the kick to start the second half. An end-over-ender. Hago will twit to his right, picks it up at the 5, out to the 10, 15, 20, 25, finds a seam, 30, out to the 35, still on his feet, into Gustavus territory, finally brought down at the 45-yard line. A 55-yard kick return with a flag back at the 18.
Number 33 for Concordia, trying to get a name here, number 33, not in the roster, but he was caught from blocking above the waist from behind back at the 20-yard line, so Concordia will be starting deep in their own territory.
Well, that could be a real good break for Gustavus. Instead of Concordia starting at the Gustavus 45, it'll back up and negate a great kick return by Dean Hago.
Jeff Hansen got that ball up there, got it downfield fast, but almost outkicked some kickoff coverage. And I know Coach Llewellyn, former special teams coach here on this kickoff team, that was his number 1 rule was you can't let the opponent start outside of the 25-yard line. And I know that he right now his blood pressure would be getting up there. And fortunately on that play there was a penalty, and Gustavus gets a break, and Concordia has to start at their 10-yard line.
Cobbers will start 1st and 10, deep in their own end. We're just underway in the third quarter of play. Langamo in motion from right to left out of the I formation. Otterman will keep it on the quarterback option, and Otterman got little or no gain on the right side. It'll be second down.
Well, if first plays are any indication, with Otterman keeping the ball, Gustavus defensive coordinator Kevin Bullis able to make the adjustments and focus on Otterman and stop him for little or no gain. Let's see if they can keep it up.
Well, we talked with Kevin Bullis today on the quarterback show down at the Country Kitchen, and we talked about how intense the defense would have to play, some of the keys, and he felt that the experience of Concordia's offense was going to be a big test for the Gustavus defense, and so far that has played to fruition here. Otterman will roll the option pitch. Hago cuts back, no room, stopped at the 12-yard line. What a great play by the Gustavus defense, and the Gusties have seemed to turn it up a notch here after the halftime tongue lashing by Jay Shannebeck.
Well, I'm sure that the term tongue lashing used in good context with encouragement. They just talked about it. And what happened there is the cornerback, Joel, did not attack the wide receiver that time. He went around. He made a move around him. He didn't say, I'm going to go right through you and then get tied up and not be able to make the tackle. He was able to make the play around it and get in and stop Concordia for a little gain.
3rd down and 9, another big 3rd down. The Cobbers converted quite well in the first half. Play action pass. Otterman under pressure, throws, ball is tipped, and almost up with it was Gilbertson. It'll fall incomplete, and the Cobbers will have to punt it away.
Great series to start the second half, Joel. Concordia in 3 downs picks up 1 yard. And right now, Brecky being back, standing at his 40-yard line, 45, must catch this punt. And good play by Coach Shinnebeck, putting Winschittel and Brian Brecky back to return this punt so that they can catch it.
Winschittel will be at about the 38. Brecky back to the 47-yard line. And it'll be kicked away from 4 yards deep in the Cobber end zone. High snap, and the punt is away. Good kick Brecky will get a chance to return it. Drops the football, and it's recovered by Concordia at the 49-yard line.
Well, we talked about it's a fundamental rule. You must catch the football. You must catch the football. Bad break. Brecky generally very sure-handed. He missed that one. Concordia takes over 1st and 10. I tell you, that's a great punter for Concordia.
Yeah, that was a well-booted ball into the wind. And Brecky just mishandled it, and the Covers get another break. They'll have it at their own 49-yard line. 1st down and 10 with 3:24 left to go here in the 3rd quarter, up by a 20-0 tally. So another turnover, costly for the Gustavus cause here. Here's a quick toss to Hago on the right side. Gets around the corner, down the sidelines, and out at the Gustavus 40.
The Gustavus defense back to where they were in the first half. They came out strong for the first series. They were pumped up. They didn't get much of a break. They ran off the field, watched the punt, and had to run right back on. And 1st down, Concordia picks up where they left off in the first half, picks up 8-9 yards on the 1st down.
So it'll be an 8-yard pickup. 2nd down and 2 at the Gustavus 43-yard line. Covers this time put on H-back, and now he'll go in motion. That is McGee out of the slot. Handoff goes to Hago, and Hago tries to come off the left side. Ball came free at the very end of the play, but they rule him down, and it'll be close to a 1st down. If not, it'll bring up 3rd down and short.
See, that's the difference, Joel. Second and, you got 2nd and 1.5, 2 yards to go. You pick up half a yard on the play, and you still have 3rd down and short. What team with the running back and Hago and the ability of Otterman can't pick up, 3 yards and 2 downs? Gustavus defense has got it. It's the 1st down play that they need to come up big on.
Pastor Elvey down on the sidelines, barking some encouragement. And Halverson didn't get it in his first effort, but I believe on 2nd effort he will have the 1st down yardage.
Yeah, the Gustavus defense, Eric Gilbertson coming in strong on a stunt from the safety position, able to get in and get an initial hit on. But he is a defensive back. He hits low, and Halverson able to just keep his feet turning, and he fell forward. And it looks like they're going to call for a measurement, but I do believe he has the 1st down.
Just judging from where the chains are, it looks like he will easily have enough for the 1st down. They will bring out the chains and check it. 12:37 left to go. Reminder, don't forget, for Gusty alumni, friends, family, and parents, the Whiskey River post-game tailgate party will be taking place out at Shoreland Country Club immediately following the game. And also stay tuned after the game. We'll talk with Coach Jay Schenebeck and our player of the game today, and that's all coming up on the Federated Insurance post-game report. Joel kept you along with Ken Erickson at Hollingsworth Field. We're in the 3rd quarter with 12:34 to play in this 3rd, and it's a 20-0 lead, and the Covers have the advantage and the ball and are on the move at the Gustavus 41-yard line. 1st down and 10. Otterman will work from the eye with twin wideouts left side, and it's Halverson. Halverson going nowhere, wrapped up and dropped by Brian Pavlish.
Well, that's the play we talked about needing on 1st down. Now they need to do it on 2nd down. 3 plays in a row. The Concordia offense only needs to come up with 1 big play into 3 downs. Defense needs to come up with a big play every time. And looking at this field position, if Concordia is forced into punting, with that punter that they have, Gustavus is not going to come out of this with great field position.
So no gain on the play. 2nd down and 10. Same formation. Now they'll send Langamo in motion. Play action pass. Back is Otterman. He will tuck it away and run to the 40, 35, and down to the 33-yard line. He'll be a couple shy of the 1st down.
He was running that whole time, Joel. He ran back there. They set up all the pass patterns, but he knows that if it's there, you just take off, and he was able to pick up 8-9 yards on that play, forcing a 3rd and short.
Kyle Otterman, a junior, 6 feet, 180 pounds from Belfield, North Dakota.
He'll be back next year, being only a junior this year, and that's something that you don't want to see. That quarterback with his abilities, not just his throwing ability hasn't been the greatest, but just his ability to lead the team and let people count on him. That's where his strength is.
3rd down and a short 3, and Hago has the 1st down to the Gustavus 29.
Well, when you only need 3 yards, it's easy to pick it up with the running backs that Concordia has. It's that fluke play on 1st or 2nd down, picking up 8-9 yards that's keeping Gustavus from stopping Concordia.
Ken, as you take a look at the interior line plan, both of these squads, is Concordia's line that dominant?
I think they're just sheer outsizing the Gustavus defensive line. Gustavus prides himself on quickness, and Concordia's size just prevents they just knock off all the holes.
Quick toss on first down to Hago. He works the right side and gets up to the Gustavus 24-yard line. Another nice pickup of 6 yards on first down, 2nd and 4.
Now watch this play, Joel. Coach Christopherson on the sideline, he knows what's happening. I would expect on this play Otterman to either drop back pass, kind of favor the left-hand side, and tuck it up on the left, coming on the wide side of the field. I just think that he's going to send the 2 receivers that he's got in twins out here and just let Otterman control this play.
McGee and Langamo are the 2 wideouts. A staggered eye on 2nd down, and they run a little trap play up inside. Halverson has the first down to the Gustavus 15-yard line, finally brought down by number 42, Matt Letourneau.
Well, that's why I'm up here and they're down there, and coaches are down there. I thought for sure they'd give it to Otterman, but that's one of the first little trap plays that we've seen, and opened up a big hole on the Gustavus defensive line, picks up the first down.
Dave Winchittle checks out. Checking into the game is John Rother, a freshman from Tecumseh, Nebraska. Seen some action at the safety slot. 1st and 10 at the Gusty 15. Cobblers threatening to increase what's now a 20-0 lead. Otterman on the option pitch and trying to turn the corner at the 15, down inside 10, and finally ripped down is Eli Schuff, the sophomore from Billings, Montana, and Schuff puts the Cobblers 1st and goal at the Gustavus 7.
Well, another factor here is the Gustavus offense has yet to touch the ball here in the second half, and there's 9:37 left on the clock. Good 6 minutes run off the clock by Concordia, not allowing the offense to even take advantage of having the wind at their back. They would have been in great field position, and inopportune moment to catch a punt by Brian Brecky gave Concordia a second life, and they've made the most of it by capitalizing all the way down to the 7-yard line.
So it'll be 1st and 10. Well, actually, I take that back. It'll be 2nd down and about 1. They'll run from the full house, and it's Halverson. Halverson grinds his way in, 7-yard drive, touchdown, Concordia. Mike Halverson, the sophomore from Fargo, 6 feet, 215 pounds, never stopped the movement of the legs, and as a result churned out a 7-yard touchdown strike. And the Gusties find themselves down 26-0.
Yeah, unfortunately for Gustavus, that turned out from the turnover, but now down 26-0, possible extra point, making it 27, 9:30 to go in the third quarter. The offense has got to come out. They got to start throwing. They're not going to be able to use any ground control to try to win this game. They're going to have to start putting the ball in the air.
Extra point attempt by Brian Barnick, and the kick is up, and the kick is good. Let's take time out. 9:33 to go in the third. The Cobblers 27, the Gusties nothing. This is Gusty football on KRVI. So the Cobblers open up what is now a huge lead here, 27-0. And Ken, we were talking about it during the commercial break, that turnover really shifted momentum. The Gusty defense came out and they put the stop on Concordia, punted it away, the fumbled punt, and Concordia takes it 55 yards and scores. Here's the kickoff, a low line driver, Brecky. One hops it at the 15. Brecky at the 20. Looks for some room in the center of the field. 25, 30, 35, and out to the 39-yard line, almost the 40. So Brecky trying to make up for the mishandled punt, get some good return yardage. And the Gusties will have it at their own 49-yard line.
If I know Brian Brecky, he's gonna be out there trying to make up for that mistake that he had. He's going to put the extra jets on his shoes and try to crank through some linemen. But unfortunately, down 27 points, I think you got to go to the air a little bit more.
Cedric Hawkins now lines up as the lone setback. H-back is Brecky. 1st and 10 at the Gusty zone 41. Snap count, quick toss. Cedric Hawkins tries to turn the corner to the outside. Nothing doing. The Cobblers just will not stand for any outside running. The containment was right there by Tim Langamo, the senior from Litchfield.
Concordia playing very good swarming defense. You see all 11 white shirts moving towards the ball at any given time. And that's you can't coach any better than that. There's a lot of natural ability out there and just a lot of good teamwork, a lot of leadership.
Loss of a yard, 2nd down and 11. Keeney and Bentley will split. Twins left side. Belmore lines up as the slot receiver. Trips to the left on 2nd down and long. Brecky again is the lone setback. Back to pass is Kurt Swenson. Little release pass to Belmore underneath, and he's popped at the 40-yard line. That'll be a net gain of 3 yards. Nice stick by Shad Young, the junior from Fargo or North Dakota.
I don't think Tim Belmore thinks that 3 yards is worth the hit that he took on that pass pattern. He caught it going across the middle, concentrated on getting that ball in there, and he was popped pretty hard. But would pick up of 3 yards after the loss on first down, creates a 3rd and long situation. Broken record.
They'll need 9 for first down yardage. The ball right back at the 41, a little over the 41-yard line. Again, they'll go with trips to the left side. Swenson again back to pass. Quick release, finds Keeney at the 45, the 50. Keeney's got some room. He's into the Concordia territory, down at the 43, and a late flag comes in at the end of the play.
I don't know what we got for the late call, maybe a face mask or maybe unsportsmanlike conduct on something, spearing on a late hit or something. I don't know what we saw. Dead ball. Dead ball pushing from behind. It was, okay, that's the exact signal that we got incorrectly a couple games ago where they give the interference call, but now it's blocking from behind. It was dead ball after the play, which I don't understand. After the play, if you get pushed from behind, to me, that's unsportsmanlike. Thank you very much, Mr. Official. Dead ball, it's unsportsmanlike conduct, so it's a 15-yard penalty, not just the 10 from blocking from behind.
So they'll mark it off from the original end of the play, and now that'll give the Gusties their best field position of the game. They'll have it 1st and 10 at the Cobber 27.
Gustavus running a little bit of a pick pattern on that play. I didn't see the entire play develop, but Keeney coming underneath, made the reception, picked up some good yardage after the play.
Hawkins is the lone setback. Belmore and Bentley, twins to the left side. 1st and 10. It's Cedric Hawkins. Hawkins has some room to the outside, but no, again, cut down, and he's seen a lot of this man today, 46, Tim Langemo. And whenever they've run Cedric to the outside, Langemo has been the rover back, and he's been able to stick him. A loss, well, not a loss, but a gain of only 2, 2nd and 8.
Well, it's Langemo keying the backs to the outside, and the inside linebacker, number 57, Mike Solberg, he's keying the backs to the inside. They're playing one-on-one against those backs, and nobody's getting out there and blocking them. They're just superior athletes getting out there. We got to start picking those guys off with blockers.
2nd and long. And this time it's Brecky. No, it's Hawkins again, and Hawkins goes right straight up the middle to the 26. Gain of a yard. It'll bring up another 3rd down and long. Ken, I don't think we've seen many 3rd down and short so far in this game. They've all been 3rd and long.
Yeah, they're either picking up the 1st down on 2nd down or picking up the 1st down on 1st down. And in the 3rd down situation, I think the last series is the last set of downs is where they picked up their first one on 3rd down conversion. But like you said, it's always 7 or 8 yards that they need to pick up, and you just can't consistently win or succeed when you're faced with those odds.
It's a 3rd down and 7. Fumbled snap. Ball is loose, and the Cobbers have it at the 25-yard line. A bad exchange as Swenson never came away from center. And although the clouds are up and the sun is out, when it rains, it pours, and that has been the case. Everything that could go wrong has gone wrong here. And the Gusties stall out with a turnover, and the Cobbers will take it over at their own 25, 1st and 10.
Well, it's 2 turnovers right now in the second half that stopped Gustavus. And Concordia, to their credit, I think Swenson was trying to backpedal faster than when he got the ball because of the pressure that he's been getting on him at the quarterback spot. And now Concordia taking over 1st and 10 on the 25. Hopefully they're looking to run out most of the 3rd quarter.
6:28 to go in the 3rd. And the ball carrier this time, number 45, Michael Flynn, a sophomore from Redwood Falls, Minnesota. Flynn was listed as the starter. Halverson settled in his place, and now Flynn with his first carry of the afternoon.
And looking at that, I don't know how they could have, unless it's maybe Halverson was hurt and questionable, that they put Flynn as a starter, but Halverson's having a heck of an afternoon.
Yeah, he really is. So it's Flynn and Hago in the staggered eye. Twin formation right. 2nd down and 8 from the Cobber zone 26. On the option, there's the toss to Hago. He's got some running room to the 40. It's a foot race. He's gone down the sidelines. The 30, the 20, the 10. Kiss him goodbye. Touchdown, Concordia.
You see a flag back, Joel?
No, I was just checking the line of scrimmage.
Okay. It's about 27, 28-yard line that they took off from. I tell you, I was just going to mention that he has the difference. He's been able to break a couple. He's had a 70-yard run this year for scores, and that's something that the Gustavus backs haven't had. And now, Hawkins and Brecky are crying for that opportunity to be able to spring one that long. Halgo gets one, and now it's a 33-0 game.
74-yard run by Dean Halgo. And the extra point attempt. And the Gusties on their way to losing their first conference game of the 94 MIC campaign. Here's the extra point attempt by Barnick. This one is up, and it is good. We'll take a break. 5:43 to go in the third. It's 34-0. Concordia on top. This is Gusty football on KRBI.
Federated Insurance.
If your company wants an insurance company that'll just...
Value difference.
Brought to you by 77 graduate Craig Miller and 87 graduate Pat Swatella, both with Federated Insurance, St. Cloud.
Back at Hollingsworth Field. And a beautiful afternoon has turned into an ugly day of football for the Gusties. 34-0 Concordia. 74-yard run by Dean Halgo. And Gustavus now will try and erase the goose egg on the scoreboard here. And Barnick kicks it away, a lofter. And that one will float out of bounds at the 24-yard line. The flag comes out.
Option for Gustavus will be that they can get the ball at the 35 or 25 yards from the thing would be the 40-yard line. I believe it's where they would start, or force them to kick it over again. Looks like they'll be taking the ball 1st and 10 from the 35-yard line.
Halftime, St. John's leading St. Thomas 13-7. Johnny's trying to rebound from their first conference loss in about 3 years. Beaten by Hamlin 27-26 last weekend. Gusties come out, first down and 10. Brecky in the single set. Play fake by Swenson's got a defender in his face, throws incomplete, out of bounds. And Swenson having a tough day. Boy, he's been pressured. He hasn't really had a lot of time to just sit back and throw. When he has, the receivers have been covered downfield.
Yeah, the Gustavus offensive line not doing a great job keeping the defenders out. I think Concordia's doing a good job mixing up who's going in, what paths they're taking to the quarterback. Gustavus offense not able to get into a rhythm, and again, 2nd and 10.
Again, a 3-receiver set for Gustavus at their own 35 on 2nd down and long. Coppers and some man-to-man coverage are jamming the receivers up the line of scrimmage. Belmore was open. He had a couple of steps on the coverage, but Swenson threw it a little too far in front of him.
That was the best developing pass play we've seen this afternoon. Kurt Swenson just overthrew Tim Belmore. Tim made his cut, was on the sideline, ball just thrown over his head out of bounds.
Well, this is another thing that concerned the offense was that this is a physical Concordia defense. They are really jamming the receivers at the line of scrimmage. It's not just a push, it's a pretty good pop, and that's really slowing the development of the patterns downfield.
You're right, Joel. And this Concordia defense, I mean, when I used to play, Concordia was always a team that you come out of the game, it was one of the hardest hitting games you play all season because they really square up and give you a good pop on the defense and offensive lines.
On 3rd down, play action pass. Swenson had a couple of guys open, but again was pressured. Boy, he had Bentley and Keeney wide open on the right side. Tried to find Belmore in the middle, incomplete. 4th down, and they'll punt it away.
Yeah, they got to talk about that one on the sidelines. Tom Brown up in the booth's got to send it down, saying, hey, run that same pass pan, run that same play, and look downfield. You got to start getting it up there. Not, you got your possession passes of 5-7 yards, but hey, every once in a while, spring one. Try to get a big gainer.
Hansen will punt it with 5:30 left here in the third. 34-0. Concordia with the lead. High snap. Hansen gets away a beauty. Man, he drilled this one, and Stuart Lang all the way back to the 10. Cuts back, reverses his direction. 15, breaks some tackles. The 20, the 25, 30 down the sideline, and finally pushed out of bounds at the 44.
I tell you, that's a classic case of out-kicking the coverage. I think the coaching staff for Concordia was wondering, why the heck are you catching that ball? He caught it just inside the 10-yard line. If you let that ball go the way it was kicked, it would bounce towards the end zone. But it was kicked so far by Jeff Hansen that he out-kicked the coverage, and just the runner was able to spring a big return, 1st and 10 at the 44.
That could have been stopped inside the 20, but a nice cutback by Stuart Lang, and the Coppers have it at their own 44. And out of the full house look. The first ball carrier through the hole with it. Up the middle is number 45. That is Michael Flynn, the sophomore. Flynn gets 5, 2nd and 5. Couple yards shy of the midfield 50-yard line.
Well, the defense right now, they're kind of got their heads down in the huddle. They're tired right now. Not a real physical afternoon weather-wise, but out on the field, they're getting hit every play. They're getting popped. They're asked to be in hustle. They've been out there a lot from a time of possession standpoint, and they got to keep those heads up and keep the surge coming.
2nd and 5. Otterman was tripped up, and let's see who got him. I believe number 59, Brian Pavlish, the junior, got a hand on him and stopped Otterman's progress. It'll bring up 3rd down and a loss on the play. It'll bring 3rd down and 7.
Boy, that's not often this afternoon you've been able to say that.
No,
Joe.
I know
Loss
it.
on the play. But Pavlish got up underneath the pads and was able to grab an ankle of Otterman and pull him down. So it's a 3rd and about long 6, 7 yards to go.
Commerce have done well, converted on 4 of 9 third down conversions in the first half. This will be a 3rd and 7 from their own 47. Otterman back to pass, has some time, now is flushed out of the pocket, being chased, and will tuck it away and run it at 50-yard line. He's got some room, the 45, the 40, the 35, the 30, he could go, the 15, 10, 5, touchdown, Commerce.
Unbelievable 3rd and 4 play, the ability of Otterman to be able to move. He went right, he cut back left, and then just saw a straight line for the corner of the end zone, and he flat out ran everybody on the Gustavus defense.
Otterman took it on a 3rd down and 7, and he was a good 12 yards behind the line of scrimmage trying to scramble out, and he just ran with the seam, and he found the opening all the way down 56 yards for the touchdown, and Barnick will try to win. That's 2 huge plays, Ken, in the last 2 possessions by Concordia.
Yeah, you count those 2 huge plays and then the fumble return for a touchdown, and there's 3 touchdowns out of that 40 points. Not trying to make any excuses. When you're good things happen to you, and that's exactly what's happening to the Gusties.
Extra point attempt is up and good. We'll take a break. 3:45 to go in the 3rd. It's 41-0 Concordia. This is Gusty football on KRBI.
There's no better way to fire up a little Gusty home cooking than a good old outdoor cooking at the Whiskey River Tailgate Party. Hey, Bob Wright, not only do you have the pregame tailgate parties, but...
And then after the game, we're going to try to get all the fans, friends, alumni, anybody who wants to and help support Gustavus football team. We're going to have a little get-together out at the golf course out at Shoreland. We're going to be having free hors d'oeuvres and... just try to get a little get-together.
Getting fans, friends, and alumni together for Golden Gusty football. That's Whiskey River and Shoreland Country Club of St. Peter.
So the Covers will kick it away, up by 41 points. This game well in hand for a Concordia victory. Still a lot of time left in this football game, Ken.
Yeah, and Concordia is just going to keep running the ball, and when they get the ball back on offense, and they've been having a lot of success, I wouldn't be surprised to see that score climb a little bit higher.
And the kick by Barnick. This one's going to be short, and on the fly, and making the catch was Johnson at the 35-yard line.
Johnson
go ahead.
Yeah, I think it was Johnson. He's a freshman wide receiver, 6'3", 178 out of Brainerd. Caught that ball on the fly, and he didn't have any blockers out in front of him because a couple of the wedge people backed up thinking that they should catch the ball, and they've got to communicate better on that. It's always the deep backs, the deep receiver's ball until he tells somebody else to cover it. Those up backs in the wedge have to get up there and throw some blocks.
The freshman Brent Staples out of Wyndham thought about taking that kickoff, but then up came Johnson. 1st and 10. Couchman is now into the game at cornerback for the Gusties, and Cedric Hawkins blew through a little hole to the 39-yard line. And Couchman now going to get a little bit of work.
Good chance for Couchman to pick up some experience, get to see what his arm's like working with the first team. He's got the entire line and receivers in there right now, taking signals from Swenson on the sideline as to what play to call. But he's got to get it done fast because he's asking for instructions right now, and the time is ticking off the play clock.
Play clock down to 10. Keeney and Bentley to the right side. Belmore left. Couchman has Brecky as the setback. Back to pass. Couchman will look to air it out over the middle to Bentley. It'll be shy of the 1st down over the 42-yard line. 3rd down and short.
I tell you, Concordia gave Bentley the reception on that, but boy, they're saying catch it, pay for it. He got popped on that play. I can remember 83, I think it was the hardest I'd ever gotten hit. And it was a middle linebacker named Roger Lindahl out of Belgrade. I was snapping for punts, and I snapped the punt off, and I looked up. As soon as I did, I had a forearm in a face mask. I got hit so hard I was seeing double. And Concordia is just coached that way. They're coached very, very fundamentally sound football team, and that's why they're always in the conference race.
3rd down and 2. Kotzman at the helm of the Gustavus offense, and back to pass on 3rd and short. Looks, and I don't know if Belmore made the reception. He did, but he's going to be short. On 3rd and 2, you got to get the first down, and they go a pass. It's going to be 4th and short. The Gusties have really nothing to lose by going for it here.
Oh, yeah. But Belmore was in position to catch that past the stakes for a first down, but Couchman underthrew it. Belmore had to come back and get it. It's going to be short of a first down, although they're going to measure. 4th and short in this situation, you've got to go for it. But the way the Concordia defensive line's been popping the offensive line, I wouldn't be surprised to see them come up with a big stop here. If you're Coach Schoenebeck, what do you think? Maybe fake that little dive in there and throw a pass to pick it up, or?
Well, you know, we saw a really good play last night down at Worthington. The old skip pass.
Oh, they did that?
Yeah, the old skip pass. St. Peter winning game last night. The Saints defense thought it was an incomplete screen pass. The running back picked up the ball, threw it 30 yards downfield to a wide open receiver, and Worthington got a big gainer out of it. But I would suspect here that I don't think we'll see anything quite so elaborate on 4th down and inches. Hawkins is the single setback. Maybe Couchman on the quarterback keeper. And that is indeed the call, and hard to tell. Boy, the line moved forward pretty quick and then back again. We'll see where they march his forward progress, but I think he should have enough for the first down.
Yeah, they're signaling first down, and the officials know in this situation that if it's close, you just give it to them. The game's in hand. If the line surged forward and the quarterback went underneath, you just give it to him, keep the ball rolling. Don't waste your time bringing the sticks out again. I mean, 40-0, 41-0 is with minute and a half left in the 3rd quarter is nothing to tie up the game by taking the time to do that.
Trips to the right now on 1st and 10. Kochman has completed 2 passes. Fakes the draw to Brecky, looks downfield into double coverage, and it's picked off. Intercepted by number 35, Brian Barnick, and Barnick returns it to the to the Gusty 47. And I think the ball may have come free at the end of the play, but Concordia wound up recovering after the interception, and the Cobbers will bring their offense back out onto the field.
Unofficially, what's that, 5 turnovers this afternoon? It's not looking that good for the Gustavus offense. Gustavus defense out on the field. I'd like to see some time of possession type things. In the first half, it was 17-30 for the Cobbers and 12 minutes for Gustavus. It's probably worse than that now percentage-wise in the second half.
Looks like a new quarterback for Concordia, number 16, Scotty Eugene, a sophomore from Lakeville, Minnesota. And some new faces as well. Torrey Langamo, the sophomore, now in. Not that he has played all game, but he comes in motion, and the handoff on the right side, a couple of yards, 2nd down. So Otterman has seen enough action, put 41 points on the board, and capped it off with a 54-yard touchdown scamper on 3rd and 7 on the Cobbers' last possession.
Well, when you get games like this, Joel, and from Concordia's standpoint, they can get some youth in there and get them experienced. From Gustavus' standpoint, their youth has been getting experience the entire game because it's sophomores and freshmen that are playing for them.
2nd down and 7 after the 3-yard pickup. Back to pass. And it's complete. And with the reception, Mark Weihauser, a senior from Whitefish, Montana, down inside the 20 at the Gustavus 17. That's a pretty nice little throw by Eugene.
As a sophomore, 6'4", 190 out of Lakeville, he wants to prove to the coaches what he can do, and he may have audibled that call right at the line of scrimmage. I don't know if Coach Christofferson really is intent on putting more points on the board, but I think when they give it to him, you got to take it.
Eli Schuff is deep in the eye as the tailback. 1st and 10 at the Gustavus 17. Schuff gets the quick toss to the right, tries to turn the corner. Gustavus defense, good pursuit, pushed him out after a gain of 2. 24 seconds left, clock stops here in the 3rd.
Yeah, the defense facing adversity all afternoon, and Coach Shanebeck looking out there, Kevin Bullis looking out there saying, who's playing, who's hustling every play, who are going to be my leaders next game, the game after that, next year, who's going to be the people that we want to count on in pressure situations. And those are the guys right now that are not giving up, the ones that are hustling to every play, trying to get in on every tackle.
2nd down and 9 after less than a yard pickup. And the handoff goes up inside. Nice stick, but Michael Flynn gets a couple on the play. Tackle made by Matt Letourneau. We'd also had Matt down at the quarterback show with us this morning. Letourneau's shoulder still not 100%. Suffered the injury in the Central game and then had it dislocated again at the Carleton game here. And playing a little pain, but out there on the field. And that is all for the 3rd quarter. We'll be back with the final quarter of play. 41-0 Concordia. This is Gusty football on KRBI.
The Bookmark, your primary outlet for Gustavus clothing and supplies, is proud to be a sponsor of this Golden Gusty football broadcast. Store manager Karen Zins and her staff salute the 600
movies. All this and great grocery values are waiting for you.
More for stores means more for you.
Erickson's More for St. Peter.
3rd down and 6, a quick toss play and going nowhere. Gusty defense pretty much sniffed that play out to the right side, and it'll bring up a 4th down now for the Coppers of Concordia as the 4th quarter underway. 41-0 our score. You're listening to KRBI, AM and FM, St. Peter Le Sueur. Joel Ketke along with Ken Erickson, and homecoming for the Gusties. But the Coppers have played the spoiler role and have handed Gustavus their first MIAC conference loss. Gusties now just trying to keep Concordia off the scoreboard and trying to break the shutout here that the Coppers have. Eli Schaff made it a 2-yard pickup. It'll be 4th down and 6 at the Gustavus 11. Eugene, the quarterback, gives to Schaff. Schaff right up the middle, inside the 6 to the 5. That'll be close to 1st down yardage.
Good play, good call by the Concordia coaching staff. Just calling a little sprint draw action on that. Schaff able to get up there, pick up the 1st down, 1st and goal for the Cobbers, and look for him to keep it on the ground, 4 downs right now and try to punch it into the end zone.
So Concordia can try and increase what is now a 41-point advantage. Out of the eye, Eugene, the quarterback, and Eli Schaff goes up over the pile and gets to about the 3. And that'll be all. It'll be 2nd down and goal from about the 3-yard line.
Yeah, humbling experience this afternoon for the Gustavus fans, the Gustavus coaching staff, the players themselves. They started out strong in the MIAC with 3 victories. We talked about the schedule that they had coming up into the Concordia game. Concordia had not had a lot of success offensively. What this does is actually gives Concordia a lot of confidence themselves to be able to carry themselves through the rest of the season.
Clock continues to wind down here. The 13-minute mark of the 4th quarter on 2nd and goal from the 4. Eli Schaff, and he got to about the 2 before the Gustavus wall stopped. And it'll bring up now a 3rd and goal. Aaron Rux, the sophomore from Sibley East, made the stop for Gustavus.
I tell you, with having played no common opponents yet this season, Joel, Concordia having played Hamlin, Augsburg, and St. Thomas, you got to wonder what's out there defensively for the Gustavus Gusties to face when, Augsburg held Concordia to 3 points and Hamlin held them to 6. I mean, what's out there? What kind of defense is there in the MIAC this year? 3rd and goal.
Eli Schaff, and he's close. He's in. Touchdown, Cobbers. 47-0.
There's always that 50-point threshold that you want to try to avoid, just psychologically. At least it was one of those things when you have 47, 48 points, you kind of, they scored a lot of touchdowns. But when you get over that 50, that's when it gets embarrassing. And I think that at this point you got to focus on that. Christopherson's just going to keep running the ball. Coach Christopherson's going to say, look, we're going to run the plays. We're going to get some youth in there, get him experience. And the defense, Gustavus defense, is going to have to stop those players or face the face the music that they're going to give up over 50 points in a game.
Barnick will try an extra point. Snap is there, kick is up, and the kick is good. It's 48-0 with 12:24 to go in the game. We'll be back with the kick after this.
I don't have a lot of time, so I keep things short. Short lunch, short meetings, short sentences. In short, I don't have time to have my time wasted. You respect it, I give you some of it. This is why I like dealing with Federated Insurance. They make an appointment, they set an agenda, and they keep it. Business insurance is
Brecky watches the end over ender, takes it at the 12, 15, 20 to the outside, 25 to the 30, still on his feet to the 34, and that is where he'll be stopped. And the Gustavus offense will trot it out of the field and see who they bring out the quarterback here. Kochman, I would expect, would go the distance here.
You got to kind of think what would have happened if Brecky wouldn't have fumbled that punt as they started the second half, and what that did to the psychological aspect of the game. Concordia able to take that punt and fumble after that punt and go down and score, and then it's just been the dam opened after that, and now Gustavus can't do anything.
Kochman has it at his own 38-yard line. Hand off to Cedric Hawkins, and Hawkins, it was the 35, got across the 35-yard line, and Hawkins got a yard forward progress, and that'll be about all.
Yeah, it's going to be second and about 9 from the 36-yard line, and Gustavus coaching staff right now looking to see this offensive line. It's 3 sophomores, a junior, and a senior on this offensive line. Who can block? Who has the heart to drive and knock these guys off the line of scrimmage? Try to establish a couple more plays and work for the future.
Second down at 8. Hawkins back is a single set. Quick release out of the flat, and Brecky was looking upfield before he had the ball into the hands, and he dropped it incomplete.
Yeah, and again, Joel, what's the saying that we've had? 3rd and long. 3rd and 8, 3rd and 9 yards to go. Couchman's got to look at the stakes. He's got to look, 9, 10 yards downfield, and the receivers are being well covered. He's going to have to throw into coverage again, perhaps risking another interception.
So it'll bring a 3rd and 8 from their own 36-yard line. 11:37 to go here in the football game. 48-0. Concordia well in control. Kochman will take a long snap count, drop back to pass. On the 5-step drop, quick release to Belmore, but Belmore knocked down at the 41, and that'll be shy of the first down. And Jeff Hansen will get some more kicking practice in here, unless the Gusties elect to go on 4th and short, but I would assume they would punt it away. And I see Hansen has made his way out onto the field, and Stuart Lang will drop back. Hansen will kick into the wind. Punt snapper, Troy Bachman, the sophomore, who does the snapping on the long snap. Hansen takes the snap and boots it away. Lang at the 28. Crosses the 30 and gets ahead of the 35-yard line before he's brought down. And that is where the Comers will start 1st and 10 with 10:49 to play.
Good portion of the crowd having thinned out a little bit so far, Joel. A lot of homecoming reunions taking place at different locations, and people getting an early start on it. They're not that happy this afternoon, staying up here. Even though the weather's great, they're moving to other areas of campus and perhaps downtown, and just taking that part of the afternoon in. They're a little bit sick watching the Gusties lose.
So it'll be the sophomore, Scotty Eugene, back at the helm for the Comers, and a quick toss on the outside. New running back is Rod Edlin, a junior from Battle Lake, Minnesota. And Edlin couldn't turn the corner, run down defensively by the Gusties' Eric Youngdahl.
And Matt Letourneau in on that tackle as well, with the game well in hand, 48-0 and 10:30 left on the clock. I'm real surprised that Kevin Bullis is letting Matt Letourneau continue to play. One misplaced hit and his shoulder's gone. Could be, for next week. They need Matt Letourneau to be healthy. If he sits out the rest of this game, perhaps he can become a little bit, get a little bit stronger for next week.
2-yard loss in the play, 2nd down and 12 out of the I formation. And they will keep it on the ground. And again, the ball carrier is the same back, Rod Edlund, and the junior, 6'2", 195 pounds, got a couple back to the original line of scrimmage. It's going to bring up another 3rd down and long.
Well, it's about time that we're able to say 3rd and long for Concordia. They've been able to capitalize a little bit more than Gustavus. And but with this quarterback in here, perhaps watch for that same play that can't remember the receiver's name, but he sent him up the middle on a little delay pattern and hit him for a big yardage on the last series.
Langamo. 3rd and 11. Play action. Oh, he's in trouble. And Eugene is dropped back at the 25-yard line. A big loss on the play. And getting in there for the Gusties was Chad Zempel, along with number 37, Matt Johnson, a senior linebacker from Roseville.
It looked strong with respect to the Gustavus defense, but that was the entire second unit for Concordia in there. Experience plays out on that, even though they're the same age. A lot of them sophomores out there. Just the fact, the experience that the Gustavus D-line had, it enabled them to get through and get that sack.
So it'll be another punting situation, this time for the Cobbers. And man, what a boomer. Brecky will watch this one bounce at the 15, and it dies at the 3. Oh, and it just trickled into the end zone. Man, what a boom that time by Marcus Erickson, the sophomore from Hawley.
Well, the line of scrimmage on that play was about the 28-yard line. It went into the end zone, so the official kick distance on that would be, what, 50... 60, 72 yards on that, but he kicked it from 10 yards back, and it also went further into the end zone. I mean, that was a huge kick.
That was a monster kick with the wind of his back. That was in the air, and first bounce was at the 15 as he kicked it well over Brian Brecky's head. Couchman, fumble, and Brecky got it back. A bad exchange between Couchman and Brecky on the draw play, and Brecky alertly fell on the loose pigskin. It'll be a loss of 2, 2nd and 12.
I tell you that when you say that adage, when it rains, it pours, that's a number of fumbles this afternoon, and Gustavus has lost quite a few. They turned it over 5 times, a couple interceptions, inopportune plays. I mean, that just creates second and long situations when you get mishandled snaps, mishandled exchanges between the quarterbacks and backs, and of course the one that occurred that turned into a Concordia touchdown.
8:10 left to go in the game as time slowly winds away. Couchman drops back to pass and almost picked off, tried to force it in to the tight end, Adam Holmes.
I tell you, the only way you can run that play, what he ran right there, he threw a ball to Adam Holmes and had the inside linebacker coming across. You've got to put about another 25 miles per hour on that ball. He just kind of laid it in there and allowed the defense to come over and knock it down. He needs to zip that ball in there to beat the defender. And Adam Holmes, that's a perfect position where he could actually trap that one against his body for the catch, even though you don't want to do that. But if you have to throw it as hard as you had to get it there, that's probably the best way to reel it in.
3rd and 13, Gustavus backed up to their own 17-yard line. Couchman will again drop back to pass. This time has protection. Belmore's open, has it, 35, first down Gustavus. And Belmore with a nice reception. And boy, a rare first down for Gustavus, Kenny, in the second half.
Yeah, they started out with 1 or 2 and then hit a lull there for a while. Now they come back with another one. Working against the second team Concordia defense and the second string quarterback for Gustavus. I haven't checked the numbers on the offensive line yet to see if it looks like they still got the horses in there because they're all still sophomores, but able to perhaps make a little bit of ground.
1st and 10 from the 35. Couchman to throw, finds Neil Bentley, who scampers over the 45 for a 10-yard gain and another first down for the Gusties.
Oh, it is good to see that at least some things work. Unfortunately, it's against the second team, and you're down 48-0. But the experience that these guys are picking up right now is going to make this team awesome in 2 years. Next year, the year after that, because these guys are going to be returning.
So Couchman has found a little passing rhythm here. Omar Payne down on the trainer's table with that right leg pretty well wrapped up, and Omar on crutches when he came out to the second half to watch the game. We don't know what the injury was, but we did not expect to see him. A little draw play, and Brecky was probably going to be dropped for a loss until Mark Lynch threw a block, hit him in the back, and blew him ahead 3 yards.
So when you get 3 bills coming at you like that, Mark Lynch, the senior, 283 pounds, was kind of rocked Brecky, kept him on his feet. Brecky able to pick up another 2-3 yards on that. So, technically, if it's on purpose, you're assisting the runner and it's a penalty. But in that case, Lynch was just trying to hit a defender and accidentally hit Brecky.
Gain of 5, 2nd and 6 right at midfield here. Twin wideouts right, Belmore single wideout left. Brecky remains the lone setback. Jeff Couchman, the quarterback. They fake the draw. Back to pass. Oh, a wobbler, but he's got Belmore open. And Belmore was over the 25. I think if Couchman could have got that ball down, a little more of a line drive pass, Kenny, Belmore would have brought it in.
Yeah, Belmore had to do, if he took any more of an angle, he would have been out of bounds. He had to stop where he was and look for the ball, and it was way too high. Couchman's got to be able to adjust to that, get that nose down on the football, so because with that nose up and the wind blowing at it, it's just going to keep that ball up in the air.
3rd down and 6 at the 49 with 6:36 left to go in the game. Gusty's trying to put a drive together and possibly get some points on the board. Kochman, little swing pass, and he overthrew Brian Brecky. And it'll be 4th down.
Yeah, that was one where they're trying to say, hey, Brecky's open in the flats, but I think Concordia was kind of setting that play up. Brecky's been out there, but he's been mirrored by that back, Solberg, that linebacker out there, and I think the middle linebacker on the second team is doing the exact same type of defense and forces Gustavus to punt. That play was not going anywhere.
So Hansen will come in with the wind at his face and will boom it away to Torrey Langemo, who's now gone back to do some kick receiving. Langemo, the sophomore from Litchfield. Hansen gets away a beauty. Langemo backpedals and fields it inside the 10 at the 9. Langemo to the 15, and he'll get out to the 16, 17-yard line, almost the 18 before he's brought down. We'll take a timeout. 6:21 to go in the game. The Commerce 48, the Gusties nothing. This is Gusty football on KRBI.
You know, I can't explain
it for all the home Gusty home games.
Whiskey River and Shoreland Country Club, teaming up to bring you good food, good times, and great Gusty action.
No one else takes care of you the way the Moore Forest stores do.
1st down and 10. The Gusties called a timeout, and the Commers have it at their own 18-yard line. Eugene back in at quarterback. Long snap count and the handoff. And I believe Ron Edlin again got the carry. Yes, he did.
Now it's second team. Gustavus took that timeout so that they could get their substitutes in there. It's a lot, defensive line. There's a lot of youth out there. I was looking down and just saw a lot of skinny calves of guys lined up there, and it's just there's not a lot of size right now on that defensive line. Number 91, Brad Kircher, the sophomore linebacker. He's 5'7", 176 out of Roseville, and they got him lined up in a nose guard position.
2nd down and 7. Back to pass, and Eugene's got a man wide open, but he did make the catch. Reception made by the wideout, number 84, LaMarcus Ford from Seattle, Washington, a freshman. And boy, they had the young defensive team of Gustavus fooled pretty well on that play.
Well, they sure did. He had everybody beat by 5 or 10 yards. And if that ball was thrown better, it could have been 6 points. Again, on the defensive line, a sophomore, Eric Kronbach, he's 5'11", 200, and they got him down in a nose guard position as well. These guys are going to have to start eating a little bit in the offseason.
Eric Betchel, the sophomore, in motion. And Eli Schaff takes the carry and gets out to the 48-yard line. Clock down to 5:20.
And it's not moving fast enough. It's on real time right now. They're just kind of clicking away and trying to keep that clock moving at every possible instance. And that time, Concordia's second team runs it out of bounds. And I'm sure Coach Christofferson doesn't want to have this debut of the matchup between him and Coach Schoenebeck to go down in history as one where they were looked at running up the score, but they're just going to keep doing it. It's their second team versus our second team right now.
2nd down and 5. And that time the ball carrier was number 29, Rod Edlin, and Edlin got little or no gain. Next Saturday, Kenny and I will be at the Natural Bowl in Collegeville as St. John's hosts Gustavus.
It'll be a game of breaks again. If it starts out the way this game started out, could end up the same way, with either team. I mean, we saw today against St. Thomas. St. John's was losing in the second half. They're bringing everything down to the wire as well. But the one positive thing out of this week is that Gustavus is still going to have a 3-1 record and be on top of the MIAC.
3rd down and about 4. And the ball carrier shy of the 1st down is Schaff, and it'll bring up 4th down and about a yard, but at midfield I would expect that Coach Christofferson would, he's going to punt. I thought maybe they'd just go for it, but they want to punt it away.
You punt it away in this situation. This would be one where you show a lot of class. Even though it's your second team and you can run it and keep your offense on the field, you also want your second team defense to get some experience. You don't want to be accused of trying to run up the score. Now, this is a situation where we saw 2 years ago or 3 years ago up at St. John's where St. John's faked the punt in this exact situation. Now, that's what I call classless, but But Coach Christopherson, you know, I've known him when I coach. He's just a great guy. Teaches these guys.
Good night.
And also, it's a heck of a view when you get. And oh my goodness, I'll let you call it.
Erickson booms one, and it's down at the 2-yard line. Boy, Erickson is just a find as a kicker. This kid can kick the football.
I wish it was a relation so I could claim that claim that the athletic ability runs in the family. But I tell you, those that can't play or coach have to announce it. And I tell you, Joel, that's why you have him punt, because it gives the fans an awesome view. He gets a nice tight spiral, turns the ball over, got down inside the 1-yard line, got it to take a sideways bounce, and forces Gustavus to start 1st and 10 inside their 2-yard line.
So the Gusties 98 yards away from a possible score here of trying to avoid the shutout, and Kotzman and company bring it out. Cedric Hawkins in the backfield. On 1st and 10, deep in their own end. And the handoff will go to Cedric, and Hawkins gets inside and picks up a couple of yards on the play.
Yeah, the Gustavus offensive line trying to pick up some new numbers. It looks like they've got some fresh faces in there. Number 76 I see out there, Tim Hoheisel. He's a junior offensive tackle, 6'4", 260 out of Onamia. We'll try to pick up some more numbers for you. There's my namesake. I played defense, but number 79, Craig Carnitz, a sophomore, O-guard, 6'3", 246 out of Arden Hills, Moundsview High School. These guys got some size on them. We might have something brewing for the future.
Gain of a couple, 2nd and 7, play fake, Kotzman rolls, has the tight end wide open and out at the 11-yard line. Catch made by number 88, Paul Anderson, a freshman from Minneapolis. You talked about Hoheisel. Played high school football with my youngest brother up in Onamia.
All righty. And at Anderson, a sophomore at 6'4", 194. Without having really Coach Shana back here to do a lot of recruiting, the assistant coaching staff, Kevin Bullis, Tom Brown, these guys hit the road. Greg Roberts, these guys hit the road a lot, and were able to maintain the consistency of some recruiting. They've got some good sizes, good-sized people.
You talked about recruiting. Matter of fact, I happened to bump into Greg on Friday as he was returning from a recruiting swing through southern Minnesota, checking out some players. It's a year-long process. 3rd down and less than a yard for the 1st down. Hawkins will get the call, and Hawkins is stuffed. I don't know if he got the 1st down or not.
Here's another one where you just signal 1st down. You give it to him, don't even question it. I mean, it was so little to go that he'll just look over. Ref will look over and signal 1st down. This is Billy Hafner. He's done this. I mean, it's close for a measurement, but 48-0. You don't even worry about it. You just say 1st down, keep it going. Everybody wants to see the clock moving. The winning team, the losing team, the fans, Joel. Everyone wants to see that clock moving. So just keep it going, keep the offense, see if they can't churn something up with 2:55 and running.
Under 3 minutes to play. And we'd like to thank all the fans, alumni, parents, friends, and family that came back. Over 5,000 people in attendance today. An outstanding crowd for this Gusty homecoming. Kotzman will play fake. No, he handed off. And Cedric Hawkins gets a couple out to the 15-yard line, 2nd down.
Now, this is a situation, Cedric Hawkins still in the ball game as a running back. He's a junior. He's 5'7", 175, but he needs to pick up some yards. He has a potential of being up there in the rankings for running in the conference. And without that much experience behind him following him up, it's a good opportunity with the 2nd team in there to give him, 10 yards here, 5 yards there. And even though he won't have a lot of yards today, it'll still add to his total.
On 2nd and long, Hawkins looks for a little gap and scored through up to the 20-yard line. Kind of interesting. We were talking about Cedric's running style today at the pregame tailgate party, and we were talking to some of the parents. The adage, he looks like a water bug.
Yeah, he does. It's where you see the middle of the body going straight, but every other part of the body going all different directions, and he gets the job done.
That was a pretty good. I think that was Mark Lynch's father that mentioned that water bug analogy. 3rd down and a yard for the 1st. Twin wideouts right side. And everybody a half snap count off from Jeff Couch. When he backed away, realized that Center didn't give him the ball, and that'll be a 5-yard penalty, 3rd down and 7.
Yeah, you get all these guys, national merit scholars, coming to a place like Gustavus, paying all the money in tuition, and you can't go on too. I mean, that's one of the fundamental things. I officiated the game in Hastings last night, and one of the things I was very impressed with was Hastings' ability to go on 2, go on 3, go on 4. They knew every play. There was nothing. They were very well disciplined from that standpoint. That's a heck of an offensive weapon if you can change up your snap count. But oftentimes coaches just have to say, go on the first count because we can't do it on 2.
Kochman rolls to his right, has some protection, looks downfield, in and out of the hands of a diving wide receiver, Andy Lone, the senior from Rockford, Minnesota.
Kind of looked like duck season out there with that pass, but Couchman did get it out there, but Lone not able to pull that one in before heading out of bounds, forcing 4th down, and we get to see Jeff Hansen again, a name we've gotten to call an awful lot this afternoon.
Hansen will do the kicking with 1:09 to go, and it'll be back deep this time. Torrey Langemo, the sophomore from Litch, at the 45 of Gustavus. A one-hop snap. Hansen's in trouble. He got it away. Took a shot. Langemo takes it on the fly, and he's down at the 40-yard line. And Hansen took a little hit, gets up, and gets a little pat from 3 Concordia defenders who were surrounding him, and Jeff did a great job to get that one off without a block.
I tell you, the question on that one is, did he have time to regain his composure? I did not watch the play after it. I watched where the punt went, because it doesn't matter if the punt hits the ground. It does not give you free realm to hit the punter. If he had a chance to, in the official's opinion, to regain composure, and if he still hit, then it's a penalty. I don't know if there's a tip on the ball and you hit him, then it's a different story. The ball looked like it could have been tipped. I don't think so, but in any event, 1st down Concordia.
New quarterback for the Commerce, number 2, sophomore quarterback Greg Nielsen out of Plentywood, Montana.
He handed off to halfback number 29, junior 6'2", 195 out of Battle Lake, Ron Edlund. And looks like Coach Christopherson taking every opportunity to give as many players some experience this afternoon.
4-yard gain to the 35. It'll be 2nd and 6 with 43 seconds left to play in this one. Stay tuned. We'll take a look at the final statistics and everything coming up on the Federated Insurance postgame report. And a bad exchange, and the quarterback sophomore from Plentywood, Montana scrambles forward, and I think he's got the 1st down. It won't matter because unless Gustavus elects to use a timeout, the play clock and the 25-second clock are a 2-second differential, and this should be the last play of the game.
Nope, that was the last play of the game. The ball won't even have to be snapped. Once they blow the ball ready for play, they'll just wind it, and Concordia doesn't even have to run it.
Cobbers step up to the line. I don't know, Nielsen may take this snap.
He probably wants to just because it's his 3rd snap of the game.
It's a toss play to Edlund, and then Edlund runs out of bounds with 8 seconds left at the 21, so we will have at least one more play.
This is where, when you have your 3rd-string quarterback in there who wants to take snaps, Christopherson's probably over there beside himself just going, stay in bounds, keep it, play your hearts out, but don't necessarily go out of bounds and run it. But you got to get some players, get them their experience. But, in that play, he could have just taken a snap and kneeled it out. Cobbers come up to the ball in the I formation, and Nielsen under the snap count takes a snap, rolls out, hands off to, I believe, number 45, Michael Flynn, sophomore, and that'll end the game. Gustavus losing 48-zip.
So final score, the Cobbers spoil homecoming with a 48-0 shutout of of Gustavus. And this game will go down as the Gusties' first loss. They'll move to 3-1, and what was this? I just hear the St. Thomas score?
I didn't catch it, but I did hear them announce it. I didn't catch it. We'll get it for you and report it to everyone.